Heroes of Greyhawk is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name is Dave, your humble dungeon master, host, and pal, and I'm here to welcome you into another game session of our Heroes of Greyhawk. Every week, I get together with some of my besties to play games and make things up, and these folks are some of the most creative people that I get to play with, and that's why it's so damn fun. Let's meet our friends. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello. Hello and welcome.
Yep. Welcome back, everybody. So enthusiastic and excited to be here. I love it. Hey, guess what? We're going to go around this table, this virtual table, and we're going to introduce ourselves because that's how we always start this game. And tonight, we are going to start with Bleak Season. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. Welcome.
It's cooking. What's cooking in the kitchen?
Good looking. What do you got?
Yeah, what do you want?
Tell us who you are, maybe where we can find you on the socials, maybe anything that you have going on that you want to plug, and then tell us who you're playing tonight.
Oh, you want the 411. I am the Bleak Season online, pretty much everywhere you can think of looking. What was the second part?
I'll do it for you. Hello, my name is The Bleak Season, online and everywhere else that you can find me. I also have a website where I write things about shade thongs called thebleakseason.com. Just
Right.
kidding, bleakseason.com.
That's
And I also am running a couple of games this week, and the games that I'm running are...
Shade Song, Record of Stars, episode 5 on Wednesday, which we couldn't do last Thursday, so we are retaking it this Wednesday.
Finale.
The finale of that story arc, and then right away after that, a one-shot of Shade Song that will show us events that happened about 1,000 years ago, leading into the next story arc, which begins next week, which will be another 5-parter that we're going to do. And other than that, I am playing Lachlan Feldspar. I always say Storm Cleric, but I think it's Tempest Cleric is the actual official designation. Tonight, a guy who's the most electrifying dwarf in the Greyhawk entertainment circuit.
Shocking.
The Thunder from Down Under.
Also
Lachlan
known
Feldspar.
Thunderpants.
Oh, so sexy. All right. Well, thanks for being here, Bleak. Really
Hey,
do
no,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me. I super appreciate it.
Yeah. Great to see you. How's Canada?
Fucking nice today, man. It was like 16 degrees. The snow's almost all gone.
16
Enjoying
degrees.
your sweet healthcare up there.
Yeah, I go around like stabbing myself with things like rusty nails and stuff like that, just so I can go and enjoy my free.
How many tetanus shots
Right.
have you actually had?
20.
That's beautiful.
And the
Last
stitches
month.
are free.
They throw the
Last
stitches in.
month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. We're going to move this thing along because we're getting bogged down with healthcare conversations.
Yeah.
Andy, introduce yourself, please. Let's get us out of this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy, also known as Andy G3D here on Twitch and on the Discords. And tonight, I will be playing Desmond Adelar, 3rd level human rogue, wielder of a cursed blade. I gave him some very funky dreams last time. We're going to get back into that.
So good.
That's it. That's
All right. Thanks for being here, Andy. I know you had a big day today with some visitors out on the
some
East
daytime
Coast.
drinking. Should be a good game.
If Andy starts to fall asleep, somebody poke him.
Yeah.
I
got some tea here.
All right. You're gonna have to poke yourself. All right, Shelly, introduce yourself, please.
All right. Hey, yo, it's Shelly, also known as Flea Monkey on the chats and Real Flea Monkey on Twitter. Tonight, I am playing Nori Bibblespark, a forest gnome warlock who is reunited with her sword.
Wait, who are you playing?
Nori Bibblespark.
I didn't know the last name. I'm sorry. That's amazing. I didn't know there was a
Oh.
last name.
Oh, well, here's a treat for you all on my third time here. My
Big
last name is
reveal.
Bibblespark.
Wow.
You
You
should have
did.
you should
have
have a
said
state
it
where
in
every
game.
game you reveal a new name. So at the end you have a name that's like super long.
Yeah, how many middle names do gnomes have?
Shoot.
New
Roll
The
Challenge.
challenge.
wheels
100.
start turning.
Oh my
Plans
gosh.
for next week.
There's not enough room on the overlay for your name. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to get a second overlay.
It's just gonna be like letters with periods after them, so you can just abbreviate her middle name into an
Oh my God.
acronym.
The whole screen will be her name by
Nori
the end
B.
of the campaign.
Sparks.
Nori B. Sparks.
Shelley, I'm impressed that you're back for a third
Thank you.
episode, to be quite honest. I thought you would have left after the first one. And then when you were here for the second one, I was like, there's no way she's coming back after this. But here you are nonetheless. Welcome back. We really appreciate having you.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get shanked in the first 5 minutes, so
Yep. Don't get too comfortable, basically.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any
Alright.
goblins to shank, so somebody's got to take one for the team.
Mhm.
Well, I happen to be right there.
Okay. Wow. This is getting nasty. Last but certainly not least, Ashley, Minnesota Muse, how are you?
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley, Minnesota Muse 99 on Twitter, and just Minnesota Muse on the Discord. Yeah, you can also find me on the Facebooks and our Discord. Like, come on by, chat. And I am playing for you tonight, Zenti, the Golden Knight girl. The super happy to be adventuring for the first time, like trying to make a name for herself, but then everything has gone to shit, and like somebody died. And like she found out something weird happened when she passed out once. Like things are super uncertain. Yay! So we'll find out what happens.
Oh my God. Oh my, this is a hell of a group. Hey, you guys all know me. I'm Dave. I don't have to tell you what I do. I'm just happy to be here with these goofballs playing games again. We have a couple of quick announcements, my friends. I want to draw your attention to the fact that we've got a sponsor, and our sponsor is CZ RPG. Our friends over there have been gracious enough to hang with us for like, how many years have we been doing this, Ashley? A long time?
How long have we been playing games? I think it's been like, well, 2 years since I've been here.
So like 3 years of sponsorship,
years.
something like that. And they are awesome folks that produce great content for your Dungeons and Dragons adventures, maps and adventures and encounters and stat blocks and treasure and all kinds of stuff. I've used a bunch of it here in our games because it's amazing. You can just pick it up and drop it into your campaign. But the most important thing that you should all know right now is that we have a giveaway going, and that giveaway is for a hard copy of their latest book, Amazing Encounters in Places. I just put some information into the chat. We are going to give away a signed hard copy of this book on Tuesday, April 25th. In order to be signed up for that drawing, all you need to do is follow this channel, type !drawing in the chat so I can put you on the list, and then sign up for the Kickstarter notification for their second Kickstarter, Amazing Encounters and Quests, which will be a companion to this game. We are doing the Amazing RPG giveaway. So someone's going to win some loot on the 25th of April. And if we get, for every 50 people that sign up to be part of the giveaway, we are going to also add a PDF of the book to give away as well. So the more people, the merrier. I encourage you to type !drawing in the chat. Andy's going to show you how it's done. It's super easy. And Andy, you still with us?
You can do it.
You can do it. Thank you for that, Andy. What a guy. So anyways, yeah, enter to win. We're really appreciative of our friends at CZ RPG. They're awesome. Christian is really cool and has done a lot to help spread the word about our channel, and we're trying to help spread the word about their channel. If you're interested in checking out their catalog on Drive-Thru RPG, I just put the link in there, but they are prolific and it's really good stuff. So let's see. With that being said, I want to say that we're ready for a recap. Does anybody else have any announcements they want to shout out?
I
It's
can't think of anything.
Andy's birthday today.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's not for another
Happy
month. Sorry.
birthday
Next month.
to you.
Yeah, I'm a
All right.
Taurus.
Too soon.
Oh,
too
that
soon.
explains a lot.
It's my birthday next month too, man, but I'm a Gemini.
Oh,
I'm an
birthday
Aries.
wars.
We're just like tink, tink, tink.
Mhm.
Back
Pisces.
to back to back to back.
Hey.
Capricorn.
Oh.
Nice.
Wah,
Wait a minute.
wah.
Wah, wah, big goat.
All right, here we go. We're getting into it. I've got a recap for y'all. So in our last session, you killed goblins. Enough said?
A lot.
Yeah, you killed a
like
lot of
30
goblins.
them.
But you did some other things too. Deep below the gnarly forest, you tracked a small crew of goblin bandits to their hideout to recover a sword of great value to your newest companion, a mysterious gnome named Nori. What's the last name again? Bibblebottoms? Bibblebutts?
Bibble Spark.
Bibble Sparks. Bibble Spark.
Sparka. One.
Bibble
Oh,
Sparka.
with a
Well, there's a
Ambient?
whole family, but Bibble
Bibble
Spark.
Sparka. Inside the hideout, you sprung traps and engaged a veritable pile of goblins as they fought to defend their lair and their ill-gotten loot. A bloody battle ensued. There were also there was a pile of guano that was involved somehow. You eventually halted the violence to parley with a white-haired goblin named Queen Bargno. Under duress, she relinquished the sword and bid you leave. You did. You left, returning the sword to Nori and continuing on your path with your new companion. There was some introspective conversation about the presence of banditry and seemingly pervasive inaction to restore law and order to the land. Toblob made a quick appearance and indicated that it was a good thing that you didn't take down the queen, lest the power structure of the local crime syndicate be disrupted. And just like that, Toblob, the goblin, was gone. You made camp in a small grove of oak trees and set your watch. Xanthi and Lachlan took an opportunity in between watches to discuss the strange phenomenon that Lachlan observed when Zan was knocked out by the ogre in the moat house, almost as though her skin had turned a shade of gold. Xanthi revealed a bit more about her upbringing, the strange bracelet that she's always worn. Later that night, Desmond found himself traversing a dreamscape of corpses, a battlefield littered with death and decay, and a crimson-feathered hawk pecking at a man's body. With dreadful curiosity, Desmond investigated the corpse, noticing a deck of playing cards strewn about the body and an uncanny resemblance between the lifeless face and his own younger self. All went dark. Nori, still on watch, was roused by Desmond's fitful sleep and approached to check on him. There he lay, muttering and feverish and gripping tightly a deadly-looking dagger in his fist. And that's when Nori heard a voice utter, "I can see you too." So we're going to jump back to the story here as Nori stands over Desmond, having shaken him, having heard this creepy voice. Desmond, your eyes flash open and you see this gnome standing over the top of you, her hands on your lapel of your shirt, kind of shaking you. You then look over and you can see and feel the hilt of the dagger in your hand. What do you do?
Get away! Get away from me!
What?
You can't have it!
I try to disarm him.
Okay. Roll a, we'll call it a athletics or acrobatics check. Your
Ooh.
choice.
Okay. We'll go with
And-
acrobatics.
Desmond, you can make a dexterity saving throw. Or you know what, you can do an acrobatics as well. We'll just call it kind of
Okay.
a grapple sort of effect.
All right.
I rolled an 18.
Oh boy. I also rolled an 18.
So Nora, you reach out and you grab for his hand and you wrap your hand around his, or around the handle of the hilt of the dagger, but he doesn't let go of it, and you two are now struggling for it. The
I try
shouting
to
wakes the rest of you, by the way.
Oh God, what's going on?
Is it Knowles?
You can't have it!
Holy snow.
Or smashing his hand down. Wake up, wake up. This is never good when you have a weapon in your hand when you're sleeping. You could sleepwalk and sleep stab. Wake up.
What
And I
the
try
hell's
to
going
slap
on?
his
Stabbing.
I slap his
Don't touch
face with
it.
my other hand.
I will try to get in
Little
between
gnome
them and
hands.
separate them.
Wake up.
Just a lot of slapping happening.
What are you doing?
I woke up and this one was over me.
Nobody shank anyone.
Sorry?
You're awake?
What were you doing?
I let go of his hand. You're awake?
Yes. I think I'm awake.
Is there anyone else around here?
Well,
Did you hear that?
Smug.
Gonna be if you keep screaming.
Did you hear that
I had a really
voice?
weird I had
gonna
a
lean
really
into
weird
Des.
dream.
All right. What the living hell is going on?
I was watching, as was my job, and Des just started freaking out completely. And so I came over and I jostled him, tried to get him to wake up. He's got a dagger in his hand. My uncle tripped and fell on a pitchfork once, left 3 marks on his forehead. People always wonder if he's gonna say something else when they look at his. You get it? So I tried to get it out of his hand because he could stab himself.
Is that an ellipsis joke? Never mind. Just keep going.
Oh God.
And I thought he was sleeping. He's not sleeping. What is going on? You're
Des,
so
are you
sweaty
okay?
too, by the way.
What's going on, Des?
It's not polite to remark how sweaty other people are.
Well, he is sweaty.
I just had a really bad dream. There's
I back off too. I'm not trying to.
there's lots of dead bodies and birds and
Well, we just got done murdering like a couple baker's dozens of goblins, so I think it's normal that you're having difficulty sleeping, so it's just not panic.
Well, let's maybe think about panicking because I heard also some voices
Where?
here,
a voice.
right around here, and I indicate
was
around where Des is.
It was Des.
You mean
It was
There
Des.
was a
It was
voice
Des who was
coming-
talking you asleep, right?
from
No,
Des?
it wasn't.
It wasn't Des?
Yes, that. Yes.
I don't.
It wasn't Des.
I don't remember saying anything.
Des, is this like
We-
when you were seeing faces that weren't your face?
I remember that.
All right. So the voice wasn't Des. It wasn't Des talking in his sleep.
No, it wasn't Des.
What was it saying?
It said it could see me too. What is that? And I get right up in Dez's face. What was that?
You could hear that too.
Wait. Yes.
Because I would have heard that, right, Dave? Des would have heard that.
The voice that Nori heard?
Yeah.
No.
Would you have heard that?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I heard a voice in my dream.
What was your dream about? What is going on?
I don't know if
I mean, this is like.
Are you under some
playing
kind of
with you
new
guys.
curse?
New? Oh, okay, wait.
no.
I'm wiping my hands off now. Okay,
don't-
I know that you had something going on because you look older. That was a curse, I think they
Right.
said.
And then
Right.
I guess the dagger that I gave to Des was actually cursed, and I'm so sorry.
So that's a
It's
different
alright.
curse.
Dagger.
Hmm?
You have a What dagger?
This dagger we talked about before.
The one he was going to sleep stab someone with.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about it. Sorry, never mind. Got that. Oh, that thing. I thought it was in the bottom of the bag.
Hmm.
Is it
See about
morning
that.
already? Spug's like stretching. Why is everybody up?
It comes out.
It comes.
just come-
Where is it now?
It's in Dez's hand.
He's
Des, give me
gesturing
the
with
fucking
it.
thing.
Okay.
You.
Des,
Alright.
give me the knife.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's safe to give to anyone else. I don't want to give it to anyone else. It's hard for me to give it away.
That thing is wicked
And-
cursed, you guys.
And
I don't want
if
it.
anybody else touches it, and they'll just be in the same position, right?
I almost tried to take
I
it.
mean, I
Is it-
would trade you for that cursed doll that's in my bag. Because that's
No.
probably I mean, it might be less dangerous than to shank someone with, but then it might also like come alive and do things on its own because it's a creepy doll.
All right. Well, I had a bad dream. I've been killing a lot of things lately. It happens. I don't know. Maybe.
Have you had a lot of bad dreams? Have you had bad dreams regularly since you got that thing?
No, this is the first time.
All right. Has that thing ever tried to make you do something you didn't want to do?
No.
Are you lying to me?
No.
I'm gonna incite the living hell out of him. I want to know if he's lying to me.
It's got some weird things. Like if you look in the blade, sometimes you see some smoke, but it's a magic blade, right? There's something to it.
Well,
I don't know. I had a bad dream. I heard a voice talking to me.
What did it say?
Hello.
What?
It said hi. Like,
Polite? That's nice. I mean, that's the nicest cursed dagger I've ever heard of.
I don't know if it was polite so much because just the context.
All right, put it back in the bag.
All right, I'll put it back in the bag.
In my in the special bag.
Yeah.
Xanthi holds out the haversack.
You have two choices there. It's either you put the dagger in the bag or I put you and the dagger in the bag.
And I don't think you can hold your breath that long.
Right. It asked me in my dream, are you feeling lucky? Do you feel lucky?
What asked you? What?
I don't
Was
know,
it-
a voice. I didn't see a dagger in the dream.
What did you see?
I saw a body in a battlefield, and it was
Like a
dead
person?
body.
A
And it was-
dead body.
Yeah. And it was covered with crows. And it was pretty disgusting. And I got down close to it. And then a bigger bird came by. Looked very familiar. Like I'd seen it before, maybe. I don't know, but and then I looked closer and the dead body was me.
What?
It's not good if you see yourself dead in a dream, I think.
It's just a bad dream. I'm
Well,
sure.
it is a bad dream that spoke to me as well. That doesn't happen very often,
Spoke to you.
or ever.
I mean, I heard a voice, but I don't think I was talking.
What
You
did you hear,
definitely
Nori?
weren't.
What did the voice say to you?
The voice said, "I can see you too."
All right.
I don't think I can give it to anyone else.
No, but put it in the bag. Start with that. Start by
It'll
putting
put
in
it in his own bag.
Put
I
it
can put
in.
I can put it away so no
Put
one
it-
has to see it.
Put it in.
I
that
can't give
bag.
it away. I can't give it away
Yeah, I don't want you to give it away. I want you to put it in that bag.
in my bag.
No, in Xanthi's bag.
What if he puts it in his bag and puts his bag further away from himself? So next time he wakes up, he has to go get his bag to get his. I mean, is that okay, Des? I don't.
Here's the
I haven't
thing.
even spent a night with you guys yet, and this is crazy.
okay,
It's not
so
like he
it's-
tried to hurt anybody, you guys. He just
Yeah,
had a
I
bad
mean,
dream.
It's a bad dream. I've been through a lot, and yeah, this dagger's a little messed up, but I don't see I mean, it's a useful weapon.
I don't think you should use it.
But
Yeah.
it's hard not to use, especially when we're in trouble, because it's very effective.
You don't have that many magical weapons. It's magic.
Not a reason to fool around with some cursed thing that we don't know the provenance of or what its intentions are, or we would don't mess around with that shit.
How do we actually know it is cursed? He could have just had a nightmare, right? For, all of the bloodshed that we even just had yesterday. It could have just been a bad dream.
All I gotta say is this. If you're standing on the beach and you see a storm front running in, and it's this big, black, scary cloud, and there's no way it's not coming where you are, and you decide to get in your boat and row out there, you get what's coming to you.
Right, but the thing is, Lachlan, I think the storm's already here.
Yeah, well, there's no need to make life easier for it.
It's already landed, and giving it to someone else will just give it to someone else. I don't want to do that.
That's fine. Don't give it to somebody else, but just put it in a fucking bag.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
And so that it's at least some degree of separation from you.
All right.
And when we get to Nulb, first thing we're going to do is check this out.
All right. I'll put it in my bag.
And I'm going to carry your bag. So take anything important that you might need day to day from it. I'll take the bag.
I mean, is it possible for me to do that? I don't know.
I'll try.
As a player, I'm saying that. I don't know. All right.
You can try anything.
I don't like that idea.
You don't have to like it, buddy. You just got to do it.
Do what I want. I don't want to be told what to do.
All right, let me put it this way. Let me ask you one question. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather, right now, have to put this dagger away? Or would you rather, by inadvertence, or through its influence, perhaps in the middle of battle, in the lust of battle, stab Xanthi with it? Because that's got as good a chance of happening as anything.
I wouldn't do anything like that.
Yeah, no, but it's not you. It's the fucking knife.
We don't know it can do that.
Well, if you see the dark cloud coming in and you get in your boat and you row out to meet it, you get what's coming to you.
Spog, have you ever heard of anything like this before?
He's just kind of like shaking as you look at him. He kind of steps away from you a little bit. I mean, it's possible, but look, you haven't done anything weird, have you, with it?
No.
I mean, it's for murdering. So, I mean, what is weird?
I mean, every weapon on me is for murdering.
That's a good point.
It just does it a little better. And sometimes black smoke comes out of it. But it's a magic blade.
Yeah, look, I'm not...
It's a magic blade that likes to kill things.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I think
exactly.
it likes
That's pretty creepy.
And you know, that's how it starts, right? That's how evil gets in. It's always the easy way, and it always looks cool, and always looks nice, and it always looks like it makes things just a little easier. And it's not dangerous. It's not bad. It's just, it's just a thing. It's just what it does. It just... But then eventually, it asks a price. Nothing like this comes without a price. And with this type of thing, it's usually not you who pays the price. It's usually someone around you.
All right.
Look, if it's cursed, we can have somebody break the curse. Like we find
right,
like a cleric or a priest or someone who can weave some magic that can sever whatever the connection is, and then you can be done with it. If it's just a knife that's good at doing what this knife is designed to do, that's different. But if you're feeling weird, Des, and you're getting strange urges, then you should tell your friends so that they don't get worried about you.
The only urges I've had is to use it.
Well, I don't
need
want to
use
get
a weapon.
sleep shanked. So,
What?
I mean, you were holding it, and then you were scared, and you were like, gesturing
Right.
with it while you were not really awake.
Well, just I'll make sure I don't sleep with it. I mean, it was in my, it was in my belt when I went to bed.
Des, I'm not gonna say it again. Put that thing in the fucking bag until we get
All
into
right.
town and get it checked out. You don't
Okay.
have to give it away. You don't have to give it to anybody else. Put it in the bag.
All right, I'll put it in my bag.
You guys, what a great night, huh?
Put it away.
It's
Beautiful.
fresh
Put it
air.
away.
Yeah.
Beautiful fresh air. I even heard a really nice bird in the sky. Not that I don't want you guys to continue fighting all night. I mean, of course I do, but
Was it that owl?
I don't. Could Nori figure out what kind of bird it is based on her foresty ways?
What kind of bird she heard earlier in
that
her watch?
hoot in 2 different spots. Yeah.
I mean, it's an owl of some kind.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was an owl.
We
Hooted.
we occasionally were
hooted.
being followed by an owl bear.
We tend to hear a lot of owls out here.
It was in 2 different places pretty quickly.
Maybe there's
yeah,
more
maybe
than
that
one.
might
It was-
be 2 owl bears.
Okay, it's a fucking forest. There are owls. Like, really, you're worrying about 2 owls in the forest a little more than you're worrying about Dez's fucking demon dagger. So maybe
Just trying to cut
demon
this
dagger.
tension with something other than his dagger.
I don't know. I think this is a nice change from the owl bears and the gnolls.
Does anybody want coffee?
Yes. Yes. I need to finish my watch.
Oh, we're not gonna sleep again, are we?
Well,
Well, I'm not.
maybe
I'm
we
juiced.
should finish our rest. I could sleep.
You do that, bud. You go to sleep.
Maybe sleep on top of your dagger.
I'll put it in my pack and, it'll stay over there. It won't even be next to me.
I watch to see if he actually does that.
No, he put it in his pack. And
Yep.
set the pack like 5 feet away from himself, like away from his sleeping area, but where he can see it.
Is that
And
what
then
happens?
he'll sit down. There. It's in my bag now.
That's a good start.
Pour myself some coffee. I'm not going back to sleep.
Spug Noir moves his bedroll closer to Lachlan, just kind of inches it over. I think I'm going to try to get a little more shut-eye.
You do that, bud.
I mean, it is my watch. I'm happy to. I go over to Lachlan. You can continue to rest. Did you get all the rest that you need? I'm awake. Oh, I'm awake. Trust me now.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm still really tired, but I don't want to get shanked.
You're not gonna get shanked. Santi, go to bed.
No one's getting shanked.
I'll stay up. Go to bed.
Xanthi will get back into her blankets and just like peer out.
I will stay awake and pretend that it's still my watch, even though other people are also awake. Take my job seriously. And I walk around and look.
I'm gonna stay awake and keep an eye on Dez.
Spug Noir is asleep before his head hits the ground and is snoring lightly.
How does he do that?
You know,
Xanthi is asleep 2 seconds after that, even though she was trying to secretly stay up.
the sleep of the innocent.
All right, Des will try to go back to sleep as well.
Does he fall asleep?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he'd be legitimately trying to sleep. Yes, because he just woke up in the middle of his. I guess he hasn't taken a watch yet, right?
No.
But so I think he's just trying to get his rest before he has to get up.
This is pretty much off watch duty until we get to town.
Until further notice.
That's when all the best shit happens. All right.
Yep.
You'll be well rested.
Au contraire, Desmond, you do fall asleep, but it's not a great sleep. You still have these like weird dreams of this scene playing out in your head. It's not as vivid or as detailed or like tangible as it was in the previous dream that you had, where you actually felt like you were on the battlefield, walking through the blood-soaked soils of this strange place. But you don't sleep well. I mean, in terms of the mechanics of Dungeons and Dragons, you all get a long rest, but it's fitful.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you who stay awake perhaps notice Desmond sort of rolling over a little bit, maybe breathing heavy or mumbling a few things from time to time, but otherwise not a threat, certainly. Is there anything that you want to do before the morning comes while you're up, Nori and Lachlan? The two of you, I think, are the only ones that are awake at this point.
Nope, just watching, keeping an eye on. Okay, kind of trying to listen a little bit to what Des might be saying, because she's a little bit freaked out about what she just heard too. But nothing else.
At some point, once people have settled down, I'll look to Nori and I'll say, still no idea what you were doing out here, where you're coming from, where you were going.
Well, I know at some point I came from Cron Hills, but I don't know what I'm doing out here.
Did you go through your pack, your pockets, all your stuff? Maybe there's a note, maybe there's... You didn't have much time because we were, running around a goblin warren, but...
No, I mean, I dumped my pack out and there, you guys saw it as well. I travel light. I don't know, I have kind of a vague feeling I'm supposed to go to Nulb.
You know anybody there?
No, I've never been there before. So, I mean, I suspect I'll figure it out when I get there, but I don't know yet.
Look, if I know the others at all, they're going to probably be fairly enthusiastic about, helping you out, having you stick with us. And I'm fine with that too. I'm not necessarily into the sport of letting people who need help just sort of sort themselves out on their own. But is that something you want? I know sometimes some people like to sort themselves out on their own, so...
I didn't do a great job on my own this time. That much. I mean, you found me. You found out how I would assume I was on my own. If I was with other people, why weren't they in the hole too? When I'm alone, possibly this could happen again. I mean, this Goblin Crime Syndicate could have some big reach. I don't know. I would prefer to be with you. You all seem very competent, and well, I mean, you're great with the
hell
lightning.
gave you that idea?
You killed a lot of people in the last place. I mean, I really didn't do too much. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if I would measure, the worth of someone by how much killing they do, but I guess,
well, then
that's
look
the
at it
metric
this
you
way.
got in front of you right now.
The other metric could be we were looking for an item that I really needed, important to me. We got it.
Yeah, but,
Mission accomplished.
yeah, but who knows what we started on the other side of that, because like you said, that Goblin Crime Syndicate or whatever, they're not operating on their own. They got to have contacts. Maybe there's going to be repercussions for this. That one of the things that we learned very drastically not too long ago, is that even if we're just out in the middle of nowhere and we whack some fucking knoll and we think, oh, it's just one other knoll, that it can have some pretty bad repercussions for other people. So I don't know that we've been extra successful at it, but we've definitely at least tried to take into account what we do because of that. We didn't do that good of a job in that warren, but we're trying.
Well, we didn't kill the queen.
Yeah.
And like Tobob said, that might have really upset the power structure. I mean, that's a success, I would say, right? I mean, at least we did something right there.
Yeah, I find that the exact price or repercussions of the right things that you do tends to be something you only discover a little later. So I'll reserve judgment for now. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we're not going to Nulb because we're, on a holiday or we have nothing better to do. We're going there for a specific reason or two. And while I'm happy if you want to stick with us to help you in any way we can, we also have certain things to do. So we're not going to be able to just go hog wild, digging into every nook and cranny that you point at. We have other things we have to do. We have other people who depend on us. We have a lot of people who depend on us, in fact. And so,
I did not expect you to be doing all of that. I mean, I'm hoping to be able to stay with you until we get to Nulb. But if we need to part ways at Nulb, I understand completely. I've been on my own for a long time. Of that I am pretty sure.
Part ways. I'm just trying to paint the as precise a portrait as I can for you of what the situation is. I.e., if you're sticking with us, we'll be dragged into your stuff, but you're also getting dragged into ours. And you have no clue who we are or what that stuff is.
I do know that you're trying to get somebody, Xanthi mentioned, and bring them back to...
Yeah, I'll let Xanthi decide what to say to you and what not. She's got a better head on her shoulder about that stuff than I do.
But you seem like the leader.
I'm not the leader of anything. I'm just the guy who stands in front and gets hit in the head.
You chop well with an axe as well. And the lightning, holy cow. That's incredible.
Yeah, well.
I'm not trying to butter you up because you scare me, but
look, it's good, Nori. I just wanted you to know what was going on. That's all.
Oh, okay. I'll go back to watching then.
You do that. Coffee?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It's good, huh?
It's really good.
I'm thinking we can retire, but they don't believe me with this thing.
I'm not usually a fan of a dark roast, but this is...
I know. It's got like that little nutty flavor in the back of the throat and a little bit of that smokiness. Yeah, I like it.
An additional, what did they say? Little je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. Oh,
as the gnomes say.
Roast? I don't know. We need to get some, when we get to Nulb, we need to get some scones or some biscotti or something.
Never had biscotti. I've only heard of it.
I've
heard it breaks people's teeth.
Yeah, it's bread as hard as rock. It's a dwarf thing.
I can't wait to try it.
The trick with it is hammer and chisel.
Oh, and then just little bite-sized pieces. You let it dissolve in your mouth?
No, you dissolve in the coffee. You dip in the coffee so that it gets... I'll show you.
Okay.
Hi, Thalanos. Thank you for the advantages. Everybody has an advantage from Ty. Great to see you, bud.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you so
and
much.
Also, hi to Kai Whimsy. Great to see you as well in the chat. Miss you, buddy.
Aw.
All right, so the rest of your watch goes relatively uneventful, given the fact that everything else was super eventful this evening. But you make it into the morning sun begins to rise and shine through the thick forest. Even here underneath the dense canopy of these oak trees, you start to see the sun shining through and brightening up the forest floor.
we get a
coffee is
long rest?
brewed. You got a long rest.
Okay. Hit the button.
Hit the recharge button. It's a brand new morning, my friends. What do you do?
I feel so much better. Like, I feel like I could do a lot of stuff now.
Well, we should probably get packed up and get to Nulb. Are we going to be able to make it there today?
I don't know. Let's find out. She takes out the map. All right. So if we head this way, I think. Oh man, maybe we could get there by sundown, as long as we, nothing happens.
But how fast do we have to walk to get there by sundown?
Before we take off, though, Nori and I were speaking last night, and I told Nori that we might consider continuing to help her figure out what's going on, but I also told her that we had business to take care of in Nulb, and that if we were going to help her, she would have to help us. But obviously, everyone has to.
I'm totally on board with.
Everyone gets a say in this, so.
Well, the more the merrier. I mean, the more daggers, the more the stabbier.
Too soon, Xanthi. Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah, I mean, she seems like she's good in a fight.
No, she seems like she's terrible in a fight, but.
This is fair. This is fair. Yes.
She's got spirit.
Hey,
so.
she didn't have her sword before, so now
That's
she has
true.
her sword. So she's probably much better.
Yeah, we all have to start somewhere, right?
That's right, Spug. How about you, Des? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sure.
I didn't sleep very well, but that's all right.
How's your curse this morning? Oh,
Too soon, Spug. Too soon.
So, I mean, it's not like I feel cursed all the time. I mean, other than the fact that I'm 20 years older than I should be.
Yeah, but hopefully 20 years older, 20 years wiser.
Is that how it works?
Is your brain older too?
I don't think so.
No,
So you
I
just
don't
got
think
the
so. I don't think I got any smarter.
It's just the wrinkles and the gray hair, I think.
You know, they
But
say
people
gray
think
is
I'm
a sign
wiser,
of
so that's just
wisdom.
as good.
Gray is a sign of wisdom.
Well, all right. So, let's pack up and head on out, and hopefully we'll get to Nulb before sundown.
All right.
So the 5 of you hoist your packs and head out on the trail, following the not very well marked trail. There's cairns that guide you along your way. Let's get a group navigation check. The trails in this gnarly forest, at least in this section, don't appear to be very well traveled. Bit grown over, at some points lost to the kind of dense understory.
Would this be survival, Dave?
Yes.
I rolled 21.
Okay. Others?
17.
I got a
I got-
13.
I got 14 and Spug got lost putting his shoes on.
Okay.
Yeah, over here, Spug. Not that
Oh,
direction. This direction.
Oh yeah, sorry. You guys find your way back to the trail. You do a pretty good job of following the cairns north. Give me a D12, Nori.
Eight.
Okay. And Desmond, give me a perception check.
Right. Uh, 16.
Okay. At some point during the day, it's relatively uneventful, at least in the morning. You're making your way north, following the trail, and Desmond, at some point, you kind of fall behind a little bit. You're kind of bringing up the rear of the marching order, and you see out of the corner of your eye movement in the canopy, like a bird, flying very dexterously through the canopy, diving and dipping through the branches up and down. Disappears into the forest, but an hour later you see it again. And then it
Strange. Does it seem
flies
like it's
back into the
following us?
forest. I mean,
Just-
it doesn't seem like it's not following you.
It's weird.
But it flies off and disappears back into the forest. And at
Nori's
some
gonna make
point
an owl
you
call.
What kind of? Could I tell what kind of bird it was?
give me a nature check. Nori, give me a perception check. I'm not sure you saw it, but you can obviously make an owl call any old time you want.
Oh, great. 12.
Yeah, you didn't get a good view of it, Desmond.
I only got a 6 for perception.
Yeah,
so
you probably didn't see it.
probably not going to do a random bird call right now, as tempting as that is.
You guys stop for a midday rest, even though Xanthi is determined to get there before nightfall.
Crack in the whip.
You
We
can
have
see
3 of these little hexes, and we could totally make it.
let's go to the
Alright.
map.
Chop chop.
Ugh. My feet are hurting.
X is like a million gnome steps.
It is. It really is.
That's right. The trip is like twice as long for Nori as it is for the rest of us.
It's so cute.
Like one of those little poodle dogs that just legs
Aw.
are just moving.
Except for the hair is not shaved around in a ball around on my foot.
You see during the lunch break, Spug Noir's like rubbing his feet, and he seems to be pretty worn out from the journey. You guys have been traveling for like 3 days, at a pretty good clip. And then fighting goblins and, knocking down weird towers in the middle of nowhere. It's tiring work.
Do I see any water, like streams or rivers along the way? Ponds? Anything like that?
You see some puddles. If you guys recall, it had been raining only like a day and a half prior to this day of travel, so there's definitely some puddles on the side of the path. You don't see any major streams. It seems as though you're up, probably given the name of the path, you're being the high road, you're up on like this ridge line. Even though it's not exposed because of the forest canopy around you, it's a little bit higher elevation. So when you do catch glimpses through the trees, you can see there's like a valley to the east. And on the map, you can see that to the east there is a river of some type.
Is it a big river?
The map makes it look like it's navigable by boats, perhaps.
When we get to that river, I might be able to catch us some fish. Be nice to have something else to eat.
Well,
Sure.
I was thinking of going down by the river too, but it's gonna make it a little longer.
I don't know that it's very close to the road.
Oh, don't the rivers go through Nulb, don't they?
It does. According to the map, I see it runs through.
Yeah, all right. Let's follow the river. We'll go down to the river and then follow it up to Nulb.
Are you worried that this person that you're going to get here would be trying to leave? Do they know you're coming?
I don't believe they would be like trying to flee or anything. In fact,
Is it a friendly escort?
are we? Yes, they would hopefully be very grateful that we came.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're talking about the druid, right?
Right.
Sherelle? No. What was its name? Shandy.
Yes. So one of our friends, he let us know that there was a druid named Sherelle in Nulb, and he had lost contact with him, and he wanted us to find him. And then we have a couple other people that we think might have ended up in Nulb, and they might be in trouble. So we've got several people to locate.
How do we know Sherelle is still in Nulb?
We don't, actually. He could have left, but that's the last place we knew that he was.
This is a big favor you're doing for this druid. Is the druid going to owe you something or give you something for this work? Or
Well, he
are
already
you doing it out?
loaned us the coffee, and some of the other items that we have are possibly on loan to be returned, or
coffee is
possibly
on
our
loan?
payments for a job already that will be done. I don't know if he wants things back.
So he's given you some things for doing this for him. Because I mean, we can't give that coffee back. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
Well-
that would be hard to give back.
Yeah.
What
Well,
else
great.
did we
Now you
get?
guys have a coffee curse too, Des?
Oh,
How many
Curse?
curse?
We're cursed with amazing coffee that never runs out.
Yeah, that's one. It's all good.
It's not a curse, but it is magic.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean,
I'll
it's
just
from
don't think it's
Ashstaff,
cursed.
you know.
Jaroo?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, he didn't give us any cursed items that we
I
are
hope he's
aware
doing
of.
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is why he sent us, to Nulb to find his friend.
He got stabbed by some weird, I don't know, like fire elemental assassin thing.
Yeah, it was real bad.
His chest is glowing with fire.
the druid did.
Mhm.
He might not make it.
During the attack on Hamlet.
But you still took his coffee and all of these other things?
He
No, he
told,
gave us these items for our journey kind of thing.
right.
Well,
he
his
all,
chest was on
laid up
fire.
on his deathbed, and he said, "Please find my friend, and you can take this bag of stuff." So we did, and it was full of really cool stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was a full-scale attack on Hamlet. And I was in there and I was like doing like spells and fighting off the gnolls, and then these guys came in and we beat them. We beat the gnolls. They ran away.
Why didn't you do any of that in the goblin cavern?
What do you mean?
Yeah, that is a good question.
I mean, spells and stuff.
I was doing spells the whole time.
Okay. Sure.
Insight check. I
Well,
know
that-
the answer.
And I don't feel like I was very effective either. I mean, not either. I don't feel like I was that effective in that battle. But-
We all have a role to play when things get difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just remember, Firebolt is pretty good to use. Get an attack from a distance.
Des, you did really good with that sleep spell that I taught you.
Yeah, it put someone to sleep.
I
don't
heard
know who,
snoring.
but I could hear him snoring, yeah. And it seemed to calm things down a little, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody died that time.
We were able to talk to them at that point. Negotiate. I was hoping to put them all to sleep, but I guess it didn't work that way.
There's always next time.
Lachlan, while this conversation is happening, you catch a glimpse out of the corner of your eye of something moving about the canopy of the forest.
like a bird?
Mm-hmm. Big.
But how big?
Roll a perception check.
18.
Maybe like the size of some of the vultures that you've seen along the Wild Coast shoreline back in the day, eating some of the flotsam and jetsam and things that wash up on the beaches, kelp and dead fish and other more horrible things.
I look around. Does there appear to be more than one?
No, there just appears to be one, and when it appears as though you've noticed it, it flies and disappears into the forest.
It's about time for us to get out of this forest because I'm starting to get fucking paranoid about birds.
You know,
Oh.
every time something comes across us, it's usually following us to eat us.
I saw a bird too.
You just
Pretty
see a
big
bird.
one, right? Is it that same one?
When did you see this bird?
A couple hours ago, maybe.
All right, keep an eye out. I mean, I don't want to get paranoid. It's just a fucking bird.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the woods. That's what
Nori's
they
gonna
do.
pull out her bird pipes.
What incarnation?
Oh, here we go.
I want to demonstrate that we're a bird-friendly group here. Maybe we won't get attacked.
Can you
Tweet,
speak,
tweet,
bird?
tweet.
Like, are you gonna say, "Hey, we're a nice group. Please don't eat us"?
Or, hey,
It's
we're the
just
birds
music.
that you eat. Come swoop on us. Make sure you don't.
It's just music.
Sing that
There's
song.
no. Okay, I'll make sure I don't.
Give me a performance check, Nori, with your bird pipes.
19.
Ooh. It's a very
Amazing.
melodious tune that you play. It sounds like birds. And many birds start to circle about. You can tell now that the forest, even though they're secretive and oftentimes you can't see the birds that are flitting about, there's many of them, and they come down and they like perch in some shrubs nearby and just kind of like take notice of Nori.
Oh, this is good because, you know, like now there's lots of little things for the big bird to eat.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does, better them than us. And I'll do a couple of tweets myself, and then play, just a whole like melange of noises that are avian oriented.
I like it. Yeah, you elicit a very positive response in the avifauna of this particular grove, and they enjoy your song. Does not, however, call in any large birds.
Okay.
Just little songbirds,
Keep playing it as we
chickadees
go along.
and nuthatches and the like.
That's
This is-
fine because, you know, sometimes like a bunch of little birds can gang together and take out a big bird. I mean,
Is
you've
this a
seen that,
family
right?
thing? Is this a family thing, Nori? This bird
No, this is
talking
kind of-
thing?
I mean, we're a musical family, but the bird pipes were kind of my specialty.
So you remember that?
Yeah, I remember I just don't remember why I'm here, going, I guess, to Nulb.
Does your family have any like bird nemesis that would be following us? Well, you.
Hmm. No, we don't have any bird nemesis at all. We don't have any animal nemesis. I mean, animals love us. We love animals.
Okay.
Oh, Nora, you said you were from the Crone Hills. We met that other gnome from the Crone Hills. The one that we saved from the ogre. What was his name? Like Narf? Do you know a Narf?
Oh yeah, Narf.
He was ornery.
He was
Yeah,
kind of
a
a little
short.
grumpy.
He was kind of short.
Yeah, I was going to be eaten, and then he was going to be eaten, and then we rescued him. After the guys rescued me.
I don't know a Narf, but sounds like a stand-up kind of guy.
Yeah, he was so great. He even gave me a friendship ring. shows you this ring that she got from Narf. It's little. She tries to put it on her pinky and it doesn't quite fit.
It's very cute.
You know, I'm starting to wonder. Are we gonna end up someday discovering that Narf and Toblob are one and the same?
Toblob.
They both
Yeah.
look alike.
Des will whip his head around looking for Toblob. Yeah,
Just
I
saying,
thought
there we
I thought
found
he was
them
gonna
both
pop
in
out of a bush any minute.
similar circumstances. They're both short.
Toblob, are you there?
They're both sus.
No, I'm not here.
He's totally not.
You want
following.
some walking bacon?
Yes, please.
She'll take like some wrapped up like little bacon from some from her pockets and be like, all right, I'm throwing it into the bush.
You just hear a stomach growling.
Follow your nose.
Well, we
just
only
suspicious altogether.
have 2 hexes left to go, guys. Should we keep going?
Let's get this done.
All right.
Keep an eye out for birds
And goblins.
and gnolls.
And
Yeah,
owl
should we-
bears. Oh my.
Should we worry about being followed?
Mm-hmm.
We're always
Probably.
being followed.
I mean, Toblob excluded.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've got a couple of owl bears following us, and then there were the wolves yesterday, and like goblins could be following us for revenge. And then there's just the gnolls.
Right. I guess we'll just lead them all to Nulb.
Do you want me to try to ask the birds if anyone is following us?
Ooh,
I
sure.
can try. It's
Yeah.
not 100%, but
Ask them how many people are following us.
birds are not good at counting. I've found, but I will see. I'll see. Maybe we have a genius bird in the mix here, and they'll know something. Could happen. I mean, people know outrageous things sometimes, and nobody else knows it. So I will try speak with small beasts, as per my forest gnome ability, and I'll
Okay.
just ask one of the birds that is close. I'll be tweet tweet, tweet tweet tweet, tweet tweet tweet, tweet tweet tweet, tweet tweet tweet.
You elicit a very excited response from one bird that flies around you, up and down, through your legs, around your head, and then flies back the way from where you came.
You guys, I think that means yes.
Mm-hmm. Did you get
Something
a
is
number
following
of
us.
enemies?
Did not get that. No, it was to be expected. But
Yeah.
It flew off. What does that mean?
I think there was affirmative. We are, in fact, being followed by something that is trying to eat us.
It's right then, Xanthi, that you hear the shrubs rustle violently for a second.
Oh god, it's the shrub again!
It seems to have come from where you placed the bacon.
Toblob?
What's that? Hey! Is there anybody in the bush?
You go back to look.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check.
Pretty good. 17.
The bacon is gone. And you can just faintly make out the edge of what appears to be a footprint. A tiny footprint. A goblin footprint.
But just one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, we knew he was there because he shouted.
I think he
that
is
he
following
wasn't
us.
there.
I see his little footprint here. He's being real sneaky though.
Yes,
Well,
we
not
could say the birds'
too
results were
sneaky.
inconclusive.
Oh.
He could have meant
Right.
Tovla. I don't know. Okay, well.
Well, he is a good guy, so I mean, I guess he can follow us if he wants. But maybe we should try to cover our tracks a little bit, just in case. Might be too late for that.
Yeah, we could totally move Earth and cover our. That was what Nulb did.
Yeah. All right,
don't-
let's just keep moving.
I don't have anything to cover tracks.
Well, if we get quickly to Nulb, maybe we can ditch them in the city. If they're meaning harm to us.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
there is anyone.
if we get to a big populated area, they probably won't just charge in after us. You know, like if they're a bunch of goblins or gnomes. No, well, not gnomes. I don't know. I mean, how many more gnomes are we gonna find in the forest? Like, 2 is a lot of gnomes to find in the forest. But yeah, it'll probably be good. We get to know.
Sure seems
let's
like
pick
it
up the
takes a
pace.
long time to get to Nulb, doesn't it?
Well, look at all the squares. She holds up the map.
So many hexes.
But we're most of the way there, right? We have to be.
Oh yeah, we're so close. We're like 1.5 hexes away, I think.
Hey, does anybody have any like torn cloaks or anything? I have a mending spell.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I can't
You
sew for
know,
shit, but the
Des-
spell's pretty handy.
Your clothes are usually full of holes from all the arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, my cloak has a few arrow holes in it. I'll take it off and give it to Spug. See, and it's just like Swiss cheese.
He says a few words and waves his palm over your cloak, and you can see that the threads weave themselves back together, and most of the, not all of them, but most of the holes disappear as a result. All right.
Whoa, nice. This is much better. Thank you.
Just know that I cannot do that to your flesh. Like I can't mend arrow holes in your body.
I can.
Yeah, Xanthe usually does that part for me.
Okay. You guys continue on, and you get to a point in the journey where you can see that the trees start to become a little bit more sparse. They seem to thin out a little as you start to come down off of this ridge line through the forest. The canopy starts to break up a little bit more, and you can see more of the sky above. It's cloudy. There's a kind of a cold breeze as you start to become a little bit more exposed on this ridgeline before it begins to drop down. And eventually you come to the edge of the gnarly forest. And you can see before you, looking down probably a mile, maybe 2 miles, a small village perched on the edge of the river. Well, there it is.
I'm circling.
Nope. The actual village itself. Up there where it says Nulb. You guys see Nulb?
What's that?
I don't know. Some other place.
It's another wizard's tower out in the
Mhm.
forest.
It's another moat house.
Let's go to that place.
Sounds safe.
You know what?
How do we get across
I
the
think I don't
river?
want to go to Nulb after all. Let's go back to Hamlet.
We're already almost there.
It would
I
be
miss the
fun to
tavern.
take the low road this time.
Yeah, maybe just turn around, take the low road all the way back.
Well,
There's-
you
there's
know,
the
we
little
might
building at the time.
we might need to go back to Hamlet, so we could take that play on the way back if you like.
No, when we go back to Hamlet, we're gonna get some horses or something. Because what am I saying? They're probably gonna get eaten by gnolls the first night out.
That's true.
We
No
should at least get
tents, no
some
horses.
tents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure
we
they have
could
tents in Nulb.
get some
I'm-
supplies. Maybe
I'm
when we
not buying another tent unless it is an instantly collapsible tent.
If only there was a spell
One that's
that
easy
like
to set
allowed you
up,
to
right.
like create like a little hut or something that you could just
Oh,
go stash
like
yourself
Spug Noir's
you see-
magical tent.
Yeah, like
That's got a
something
nice
that's
ring
easy
to it.
to like take down because it's nice to be in, but then gnolls attack and you want to just like pack really quickly.
There could be a market for something like that. Maybe I should, Des. We should come up with a Spug Noir and Des patented magical up-down tent.
I'm 100% on board with that.
Lachlan,
I
do you think
think
we
it's a
could
great
sell it
idea.
at your coffee shop?
Sure.
Coffee shops and tents.
I
Mhm.
do think we should workshop the name though.
Yeah.
You don't like up-down? The up-down tent?
Java tent.
Maybe.
Yeah. The
Or
grinding
if-
tent?
What?
What?
No. No.
Pitch a tent. Throw. We'll think of something.
Have a cup, pitch a tent.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of long. I don't have any good ideas. I'm sorry for shooting those down. That's dumb. Okay.
So
I'll think
when
of
we get
something.
into Nulb, we're supposed to show your ring around to make friends. Is that it, Zanti?
Wait, we're supposed to make friends? And in Nulb? No, we're supposed to
Is
find
that what your ring's all about?
I was
Oh.
gonna say, we should probably not mention anything about the moat house.
Yeah, let's
Oh.
keep that
Don't-
to ourselves. Let's just
Okay.
look for.
Or who we are, or where we're from, or to
Anything,
people,
really.
strangers, not give them our whole life story.
Didn't you guys say that
I'm
some
looking
of
right
the
at Zanthi.
bandits some of the bandits like ran to Nulb to tell somebody something?
Right. So some of the people we just,
Killed.
rolled over, killed, slayed. They are here, right?
Well, their friends
Oh.
are.
You mean some
Other
of
friends
some
are.
of the bandits are probably in Nulb and maybe with the two big Burns Badgers guys that we
Right. And our friend we let go, our barefooted friend we let go, Mr. Brock,
he probably has shoes now.
probably ran straight back here, bought a pair of shoes and started singing to all his friends.
All right, so they could
Could
all
you know
know
what? It
about
could
us.
actually be quite dangerous for us to go here. Are we sure we want to go down there?
Well, maybe we could disguise ourselves so that they wouldn't recognize us from when we murdered all their friends.
Well, I guess we only really have to worry about Brock.
Yeah, he's seen us. I mean, he hasn't seen Nori, but the three of us should
If we find
probably
Brock, I'm hammering him.
do a disguise.
Yeah.
They are hammering him?
We need to have words with him.
Yeah.
Well-
Did-
What does he look like so I know?
Yeah.
no shoes.
Well, I mean, we just said maybe he will have shoes on. What else can you give me?
What did he look like?
What does he look like? What if I see
Vicious?
him and you don't see him and I want to alert you?
If you see someone suspicious, let us know.
He had like
Get the feeling.
he had
that
like
was
dark
full of
hair and a
them.
beard, right? He had like he's kind
Dark
of
hair
short.
and a beard. Okay, sure.
Not as short as the gnome.
Watch it.
No, average-ish.
He's
Not
human,
tall,
right?
but not super short.
You'll know him by the look in his eyes. Super shifty. Like you can tell you can't trust this guy.
Okay. Dark hair, short, human, shifty. May or may not have shoes.
And you guys
Anyone
make
like
a
that
deal
I
with
see?
him? You made a
Yes.
deal with Brock, didn't you?
Yeah, we told
well,
we let him go.
You wouldn't know this, but like Nulb and Lachlan made a deal with him, gave him a bunch of gold and told him to change his life, and he ratted us out, and his friends came to kill us.
Yeah. The next
Oh,
thing
yeah.
we know, 5 more came along, or however many.
It sounds like Nulb. Always saw the good in people, even when there was none there.
Right? He wanted people to be better than they were.
Well, if he double-crossed you, then I bet when he sees us, he's probably going to look pretty guilty.
Yeah, he'll probably panic and run. That'll be the first indication that that's him.
Well, we should keep an eye out because we'll most likely want to see him before he sees us.
Right.
if
But,
that's
you
the
know, I
case.
could put on a disguise, and Xanthi pulls out these goggles that she's had in her pack, and she puts them on to hide her bright yellow eyes. And then she starts kind of like she can't see super good.
Oh, okay. That works, sort of.
Right? Because my eyes are the most noticeable, right?
I mean, there's the rest of your head and hair and everything else, but yeah,
There's no
sure.
disguising your personality.
And yeah, it's kind of unique.
I could
All right.
I could cast an enlarge spell on Nori.
Oh, they have never seen Nori, so
Oh.
she
I
doesn't
could
need
cast
to
a
be
read-
disguised.
I could cast a reduce spell on. He looks over at Lachlan.
don't need-
Desmond.
We
Mm,
don't need to cast anything except maybe rejuvenate on Desmond. Other than that,
there
we don't
was
need to cast anything.
I have a disguise kit. I mean, I could change the color of my hair. Like it could be brown instead of like red.
I think we're overthinking it. I think we just go in there and start looking for that druid. In fact, the druid's probably not going to be in town, so we may not need to be in the town very long, or the village, whatever it is.
Okay.
right. We'll just be low key, you know.
Mhm.
We'll go in there. We don't
Don't
have to
cause any
talk to
trouble.
everyone. We're just travelers,
Mhm.
merchants, looking to buy goods.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay.
That's really
You're
good.
Merchants looking to buy goods.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that.
We're not merchants. We're just,
Not merchants. Okay,
We're
what
just
We
are
passing
we? We're
not
we're just
merchants
passing through.
looking to
We're
buy
looking for a
goods.
friend of ours.
travelers,
We're
That's
looking
right.
there for our friend named Brock.
dirty
No.
drifters,
Mm-mm.
Sherry. What? No.
suspicious adventurers.
Shirley? What's the name of the one we're looking for?
Chiral?
We're
Shirley.
looking for the nice one, not the
Chiral.
bad one. We don't
Chiral.
want to see the bad one. We want to see Shral. We don't want to see Brock. Just
That's right,
there's you've got so many things. I just am trying. Okay, there's two,
Right.
but trying to
Right.
keep
Rules
them.
of
Brock's
engagement.
friends.
Rules of engagement.
If they pull a sword on you,
Engage
engage.
or run.
If
Or run.
someone looks at you and goes, "Oh," and then runs, like you should catch them.
That's Brock.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
probably.
Could you pencil a mustache on me though?
Yeah. And Xanthi takes out her disguise kit and like does a greaser like mustache on him. Like it's really curly at the ends.
How do I look?
I think this is a good look for you.
I look at Nori. It's not too late to ditch us, you know.
The thought did not cross my mind. No, it did not.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're shaving each other's heads or anything.
That's an option?
I
mean,
do you want to?
No.
It
I
would be
mean,
a
they haven't
disguise.
seen you to begin with.
could
They
be-
never saw you. So I
Yeah,
don't
Spug,
think
you'll
we
be
need to
fine.
have a disguise.
Maybe we should have code names.
In fact, they've never seen you or Nori. It's
I wouldn't hate being
the
bigger
three
anyway.
of us that need to lay low.
I kind of think that a gigantic gnome would stick out, though.
But that could
Right.
be in your favor. Then
But
they
see-
wouldn't look at everybody else.
So I have to warn you, Nori. I'm happy to do the enlarge spell, but there's something I haven't quite perfected with it, and it's I can enlarge you, but all of your clothes are going to remain the same size, and it's kind of awkward, but it works.
We're not rolling into Nulb with a
Giant
Big-
naked gnome.
A big naked Nori. It's a little too much attention.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it
So
might
we'll-
not be the kind of attention we want. So, I mean, we
We'll
want some
save that
attention.
one for the thick of battle, okay,
Yes.
Spug?
Oh,
No,
Maybe
just
not then
not-
either.
yeah.
I just need more
Alright.
practice. It'll be fine.
yeah. I think that is a no from me for now. No from the gnome.
But if I see Brock, right? Reduce.
Reduce.
His clothes stay the same size. He gets caught in his clothes. We grab
we
him
can
like a
pounce.
mouse. Yeah.
Right. Pick him up by his...
See, we have a plan. We've never had a plan before, have we?
I don't know that they're really planned kinds of people.
Plans require a brains of the operation, and this is not a brains of the operation kind of operation.
See, the big thing about plans is I usually make them and then something goes sideways and we have to just do something else.
Well, there's Nulb all the way over there, within reach, but still seems far away.
No, it's not.
It's
Good
right
thing
there,
that
isn't
we're
it?
walking and talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we're walking and
literally
talking.
right there.
I mean, are we gonna stay there tonight?
I
That's
no
what
longer
we
speak or
wondered
stop
for.
until I'm standing on the edge of Nulb.
He's giving us the
I
silent
think we could
treatment.
stay at an inn. We should. That's what we should do. We should find a place to stay first.
Mhm.
Right.
Get
Okay.
some broth
I'm
and
just gonna
some
Cover
ales.
my weapons.
Yeah, right. We make sure that all of your bags are secured and your pockets, and like if you've got anything special, put it on the inside pocket.
Like cursed daggers.
Yeah.
I don't have any coin.
Don't worry.
We gotcha.
Well, we haven't divided, the money that we made from the trip. So, like, you would get a share. Like we said, he would get a share of the
Right.
stuff that where he was part of.
I mean, you gave me the spell book that we found, and as long as I have a place to rest my head, I'll be happy.
Let's
can
find
manage
a
that.
tavern and we'll sort all that out. Nori, you speak to animals?
Of course. Who doesn't? Oh, probably you guys.
Yeah.
But yes, I
would-
do.
I would assume that, someone like, say, a druid named Cheryl would probably be someone who also talks to animals, and the animals might know of Cheryl. So perhaps you could
I can
ask
ask.
around.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that like crazy. They don't always know a lot.
That's fine, but if you ask them if there's someone that they know who likes the animals and the trees a lot and is often found in the forest talking, blah blah blah, like, they might know.
Yeah, do you want me to start now? I can start right now.
Well, no time like the present.
Okay. I'll use, if there aren't any birds around, I will use the bird pipes again.
Mm.
Getting a lot of wear and tear out of these. Call them down and ask them. I don't
They
know how
know
to do this.
Cheryl.
Yeah. In bird language, I'll just say, tweet, 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 tweet. I'll point at the humans in the group, and not me, not Lachlan. Do we know what Cheryl looks like? Big hair, flowy robes. I'll do flowy robes because I feel like a druid's got flowy robes. They all do, right?
Sure. I think so.
I mean, maybe they would recognize the name Cheryl.
Cheryl? Tweet, tweet, Cheryl? Caw, Cheryl?
So this is how it looks. Like, you play your little bird flute, and you're doing like this, tweet tweet thing, and you're making the gestures, and all these birds like are coming down, and there's like one, and it kind of stops on, kind of perches on the ground and pecks at the sand a little bit, and then looks up at you and pecks around, and then another one comes and lands, and they're kind of like just jumping around on the sand in the path and just kind of like picking at whatever might be some grubs or some mites or something. And then you say Shiral, and a couple more come down and they all just kind of look up at you.
Then I'll
He's
go,
half elf.
tweet, tweet. Tweet, tweet.
All of a sudden, as you do that, they all scatter and fly away. And this hawk comes soaring in low over the top of you all, having flushed the birds, and it lands on a fence post, just a random fence post with no fence. Maybe there was an old fence there at one point. And just perches and stares at you. It is a crimson feathered hawk, large, one of the biggest hawks you've ever seen, and it has a distinct white patch of feathers on its breast.
Oh, look at that.
I'll say, Sherelle. Then I'll like get way down and bow. And then I'll turn around to everyone else. It worked. That's gotta be Sherelle.
Is that him? Are you Shiral?
Looks really familiar to me.
The patch of white, a skull.
It's not that well defined. I would say it looks less like an object, other than it has a vague diamond shape to it.
Des will walk over and get closer to the hawk.
Just kind of watches you as you approach.
Does it move? Does it?
Its head cocks to the side. It kind of repositions itself on the pole, fence post.
That's
Come up.
strange.
2.
I'll get closer.
The closer you get, you can start to see that it has on its hooked beak, it has what appears to be like stains of blood. How close are you trying to get?
I'm gonna edge up, try to get within arm's reach.
No. You get within
No.
10 feet of it and it flies off.
Oof. That was weird.
Well, it was
That's the one
either
we see.
Sherelle or
That's the one we've been seeing flying around, right?
I didn't see anything flying around.
where did it go? Did it disappear, or can we follow its trajectory?
It flew back into the forest as best you can tell.
You scared it.
I mean, like, it didn't seem to want anything from us, right? And it didn't really answer that it was Shiral, so it's just a random hawk that came from the bird pipes.
I suppose we didn't really... If that was the person you're looking for, we didn't really say what we wanted.
They might have just all flew away because they knew the hawk was coming.
I mean, it didn't give us confirmation that it was him.
No.
Right.
It
So
might
they're
not have
just-
worked.
Talking to random forest animals.
Not 100%.
All right. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ask around.
To Nulb!
Did it leave any feathers? Did anything fall off of it there?
No, nothing. It just
Okay.
perched and observed you, and as Desmond got closer, it flushed and flew off. Desmond, you would definitely recognize that as being similar to the bird that you saw in your dream. All right, so you guys continue on pushing into close proximity to Nulb. Lachlan, he is true to his lack of word and does not speak until you guys get closer. And this, my friends, is where we will take a break. And when we come back, we will be entering, finally, after 1,000 years of travel through the gnarly forest, a small ramshackle village of Nulb. So thank you all for hanging out with us. Whoever's still here after this goofy travel montage, want to quickly remind folks that we do have a special giveaway that we're running. we want folks to enter to win this giveaway because this is a signed hard copy of CZRPG's Amazing Encounters and Places. In order to win, you need to follow the channel, type drawing into the chat, and then sign up for their Kickstarter notification. They are kicking off in just a couple of weeks a Kickstarter for their second book, Amazing Encounters and Quests, which will be a companion to this one. We want you all to be the lucky winner, although only one of you will. But for every 50 people that enter, Christian at CZRPG is going to add a second PDF copy to give away. So the more the merrier. We hope that you are the lucky ones. And get in on that action. We will be back in 5 short minutes to see what happens when the party arrives in Nulb. Nobody knows you're coming. I'm sure it's going to be just fine. We'll see you in just a little bit. Hello, everybody. Real quick reminder, we do have an awesome giveaway. If you want to get in on that, please check out the instructions in chat. CZRPG is donating a signed hard copy of Amazing Encounters and Places. Now, speaking of amazing encounters, deadly encounters and amazing places is what I like to call Nulb. You, my friends, make your way down this winding path that leads to Nulb. You catch your first glimpse of the riverside village that's set alongside Immerdy's Run. Desmond, you'd probably remember that Immerdy's Run is a tributary to the Velverdiva River, which is a larger river that also flows past Verbabank. The town itself is run down and ramshackle and slightly bigger than Hamlet, but much more broadly dispersed along the shoreline, kind of tucked between the river itself and a marshland. You can see that most of the buildings are crumbling and are heavily weathered, and many of them seem to have seen many seasons without any sort of upkeep or maintenance. But even despite the dilapidated sort of ramshackle state of Nulb, you can see people bustling about, taking care of their business. There's a handful of riverboats that lay anchored in a small cove. Dock workers that you can kind of see as little dots along the wharf area, bustling about as you're coming down this hillside. You can see chimney smoke floating above 24 or more buildings. And let me bring up a map for you of Nulb. You can see where you are on the map. Let me bring that. Here we go. Down here in the bottom. As you enter, and this is the Immerdy's Run over here on the side.
I don't want to be an asshole, but is that not the map of Hamlet?
No.
You are so perceptive. This is Hamlet. Unfortunately, you guys got more lost than you thought you were.
We're all turned around.
You have arrived back in Hamlet. No, this is a different map. It is laid out strangely similar to Hamlet.
Did I just blow your cover there, Dave?
No. Now I didn't notice it until now, but now I see it. It is strangely similar to the layout of the other town that you've been in. But no, this is indeed Nulb, and you can see as you walk in, most of the buildings are 1-story structures. There's one building that stands out as a little bit taller than the others, and it's close to the river itself. So that is this building here. Oops. Here we go. The building right here on the map. most of the buildings are made with whatever materials were readily available at the time. Some are made with turf and thatch rooftops constructed from mud bricks. They have kind of this rough sort of the earth appearance. Others are built from crudely hewn logs and probably revealing some of the town's reliance on lumber from the gnarly forest. A mishmash of shingles and thatch, and a lot of wear and tear and neglect, overgrown vegetation spilling out from between the buildings as you get closer into town. There's sort of this air of wildness to the town. You sort of catch almost like these ghostly whispers that hint at sort of this questionable reputation that you've heard about, and you can feel it. It's like tangible. There's, echoes of desperation and deceit. There's this foreboding sense to the atmosphere of the place, much different than when you arrived in Nulb. And you see a diverse mix of people: boatmen, fishermen, herdsmen, farmers, maybe, who eke out a living on the surrounding land. There's a noticeable presence of more suspicious looking folks who are just kind of hanging about with no apparent purpose than to menace and glare. And in the case with one scruffy, one-armed man relieving himself in your general direction as you walk past, some of these folks appear to have been day drinking.
Reminds me of the first time I went to Philadelphia. I know that's random, but that's exactly the first thing that happened the first time I went to Philadelphia.
This is kind of the Philadelphia of the Flanass, is what they call it, actually.
Wait, did you say
The
the
city
guy
of brotherly
relieving
love.
himself only had one arm?
Yep.
That's
Can't do much else.
takes skill. All right.
The one-hander.
I guess this is pre-zipper. This is pre-zipper. That pan technology hasn't come out yet.
You don't know
He's
that.
only got one arm, and he's not using it.
Zippers are a luxury, dude.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. There's no zippers in. No.
I mean, imagine trying to do a button fly.
Exactly.
All right, so look, you
I
guys
was
get
worried
into
about
this
this
place.
guy.
It's rough. You can see this. You can see these people milling about, and as you're walking by, you see two guys that erupt into a fist fight, punching each other. One guy gets thrown to the ground. The other guy kicks him in the ribs and reaches down as the other one's kind of cowering, grabs a purse from his belt, tears it off his belt, shakes it a little bit, puts it in sort of his robes, and walks away. The other guy just kind of gets up, looks around to see, if anybody saw what happened, and just kind of like brushes himself off and walks away. You see as you're continue on that there is a shop of some sort on the side. There's an open door, and there's a little sign that's faded above it, and it just says Curio Shop. And that is on the map at number 7 that I just illuminated on the map here. But the path continues forward north towards the cove.
Ah, charming place.
You should feel
Was
right at
there
home.
like maybe a party last night or something? Because everyone seems really drunk and
I think there's a party
Cranky.
every night.
Yeah, there
And every day.
could be. But there's most likely a place where they all get drunk. I'm guessing that's going to be the tavern.
That big building there by the bridge is probably the inn.
well, should we try to ask somebody, like a friendlier person, where is a good place to stay? Or should we
Well,
just go
I'm
to a building that looks like an inn and ask if they have any rooms?
We could ask at one of these shops.
Let's just go into this shop right here. It's right here. The curio shop.
That might be better than the one-armed man pissing over there.
Yeah.
He's
it's
he's
kinda-
done
Yeah.
now.
I mean, I didn't like how he dead-eyed us as he peed.
Yeah, it's still unnerving. Like when, yeah,
It was
Right.
intimidating.
Luckily he was pretty close to the ground.
like you want to look away, but he's staring at you. It's like,
I will suddenly take my my money pouch and slip it inside my armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my haversack and I'm gonna pull one arm out of my coat and then like put the sack over and then put my arm through it so like it's you have to take off my coat to get my bag.
All of Dez's valuables are already hidden where they should
Yeah,
be.
when you know how bad guys operate, robbers and such.
Nori's
Right.
stuff
I
is
think that
either-
was most likely a dispute that had some history.
Or we just watch the mugging and
Possibly.
let them have
Yeah.
it.
I get the feeling that getting involved in like petty ante stuff like that here is not going to be good. So let's
Yeah.
mind our own business and
Exactly.
get what we need done. And Nori, if anything, like clicks or sparks a memory or something.
I
Even
will
if it's
be.
just a bibble spark.
That is my last name. I will be sniffing and tasting many things and touching many things just to try to spark a memory. It's gonna be weird. I'm just warning you guys now. It's gonna be weird. I mean, my memory came back when I touched my sword. I maybe coming in contact with something, but it's not gonna get in the way of your mission here. I'll just do it on the side.
Okay.
right,
If
so
you
we-
see anything, let us know.
Are we gonna go in this shop then?
I guess we need
Security.
information.
You guys look at the shop, and it seems it's an unusual build, irregular. Appears as though, it's kind of one of those structures where people added on when they found materials that they could use to make it bigger and, expand the footprint, expand the floor plan of this thing. It looks very strange. It definitely looks ramshackle and mismatched. It does look, though, despite all that, it looks well kept. Like whoever might own this place, be it a shopkeeper or whatever, takes pride in it. And there's a wooden sign that hangs on chains. It's like I said, it's faded, but as you get closer, you can see the word curios in this sort of ornate script that looks to be partially chiseled and partially faded paint. A few steps lead up to the porch, and there is a freshly painted door with a large brass knocker.
Does it look closed, or maybe it's always closed?
You look in, and
Mhm.
you can see someone moving about inside.
All right.
Don't be weird. And I go up and I knock on the knocker.
Within seconds, there's someone at the door. Like almost, they just appear at the door.
Ugh.
He opens the door, and you can see this very well put together half elf individual, pointy ears, and they look at you quizzically and said, "Never met the lot of you before. Are you here to do business, or why do you come calling?"
Oh, we are not merchants looking to buy goods. We're drifters. And Xanthi looks at the group and nods because that's what they had said.
Okay. He looks at you with these
Right.
intense violet eyes and says, "Good to know. This is a place where we sell things. If you're not looking to buy them, then perhaps you could just, carry on with your day.
Right. Oh,
If you mean to buy goods, then by all means, come right in and welcome."
I think she meant travelers. We're travelers. Drifters has a connotation.
Well, most
Oh,
people
we're-
around here are drifters.
Not
All right.
drifters either. Then, guys, the story is really complicated.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyways, what kind of stuff you got here?
Well, come in and take a look. Take a look around. Your friend has some charcoal or something on his upper lip.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
Spug, your really cool mustache, like apple smeared.
That's his mustache, and I'll wink at the shopkeeper.
Of course it is. Of course. Yes, step in. Welcome to my shop. We have all sorts of curious items for sale. If there's something in particular you're looking for, you probably won't find it, but you might discover something quite spectacular in the process. I do encourage you to look around. If you intend to touch something, please let me know first. And if I catch you stealing, I will chop your hand off.
Fair.
Noted.
All
Okay.
right. I am curious to browse.
Well, come right in and browse, and we have an understanding then, yes? Come in. Welcome to our raiders who are also coming in to our stream. Thanks for being here. We have just arrived in Nulb, and we're stopping by the curio shop. So you enter into this place, and it's crammed with all kinds of items, all kinds of weird junk, furniture, old weapons, stuffed animals. There are maps in glass cases, old paintings, garments, walking sticks, lanterns, all kinds of things, dishware. It looks like it's kind of like an antique shop sort of vibe. There are these narrow sort of halls between racks of goods, and you're almost nervous as you walk through them because you don't want to bump them. They look as though they could teeter and fall over, perhaps. But this place is just stacked with all kinds of strange items. Please look around.
All right, so what are like the coolest items that you have? Like, what do you think is like the most interesting?
Oh, well, I do have this is quite interesting. This is something that I've had for quite some time, and it seems as though most people don't understand the beauty of it. He pulls out from underneath this cloth. He whips this cloth very sort of like dramatically. And you look down and you can see this small skull on like a little mount, a little wooden mount. It's quite peculiar, is it not?
Oh, I have one of those.
And Xanthi digs in her pocket and pulls out this tiny little skull that she found in it.
Oh
You
my.
look at all sorts of weird.
Yes, indeed. That is quite peculiar.
Oh, you like that? And I'll reach into my sack, and I'll pull out the shriveled, dried up hand that I pulled off one of the goblins.
Good God, man, you've been carrying that around with you.
Oh, I found it. It's
Cool.
pretty curious, right?
It's curious, all right.
Do you think it's worth anything?
A shriveled hand. Well, it all depends on if someone's in pursuit of a shriveled hand, then yes, of course it's worth something. All of these things in this shop are junk to some people, but can be the most cherished treasure to others.
We saw a man outside that could probably use an extra hand.
Oh.
Ah, ha ha ha. True. We saw a one-armed man relieving himself out by your
That's
corner.
Charlie. He does seem to linger about.
Oh, Charlie.
Always pissing about, too, it seems.
Hanging around.
Yeah,
How did he lose the hand?
real pisser.
I don't know the story to that. You'd have to ask Charlie.
Was he trying to steal from your shop? No?
No, he would know better than that, I would think.
Wouldn't want to lose the other one.
Correct. I
Do
am
you
a
have anything-
stickler. Do not think that I will be lenient if someone comes in here and tries to steal something. Of course, I make my living off of these items. They are precious to me, and I'd do a pretty good job of defending my domain.
I have a question for you.
Of
I'll
course.
pull out my necklace with the piece of barnacle. Do you have anything with a symbol or a sign resembling this?
No, that is quite peculiar. It looks to be of some sort of a pearl. Interesting. Is it for sale?
No, but if you had something with a similar mark or image on it, I might be interested.
I will certainly keep my eyes open. That sort of item seems to have come from a coastal region, perhaps from the ocean itself. Where are you all from?
Greyhawk.
Ah,
all around really, but on the road from Hamlet.
Hamlet. I've heard that there's been a
Passing through,
terrible
really.
attack on Hamlet recently. Were you aware?
We heard
Do you have-
about it. Yeah, it
you have
happened
news?
shortly before we got there.
Tell me, what happened in Hamlet? I am quite curious.
It was attacked by a large group of gnolls
Terrible.
and other creatures,
Yes.
from what I understand.
And were there as many casualties as the rumors are saying?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were hurt.
Nevitz, the
pretty bad.
mayor, killed.
Nevitz. No, I think Nevitz was injured.
The druid of the grove.
Injured as well.
And what of Rufus and Byrne? Unable to defend the place, it seems.
How come you know so many people from Hamlet? Have you been around those parts often?
Well, it's a short journey from here if you know the way.
It's a dangerous journey. You make it often?
Not as often as I would like. It is quite a nice place, especially compared to Nulb.
Why don't you move down there? And I'm sure they could use someone with they got a couple bastards running the only game in town as far as shops go down there. You go down there and you start giving those guys a little bit of competition. I'm thinking you make a killing.
Yeah, they're more like practical wares. They're not curios. They're not collectibles.
Yeah, but
Dabble
you
and
could-
Grimang, I know them. They are quite shrewd, indeed. But I do enjoy the position of this despicable little place on the shores of Imerdy's Run, and, well, lots of interesting things pass through here. All of these things came from some of the merchants and bargemen, sailors, and others who travel from places far to the north. And, well, I'm the benefactor of these things.
Xanthu's been like bottling up all of her like wealth of information for like the last 5 minutes that everyone else has been talking, and she manages to like swallow it down and says,
Do you sell anything that's magic?
Magic. Well, sometimes things come through here, dear, that are quite magical indeed. Right now, I have a few things that might interest you. Whether or not they're magically ensorcelled is not for me to know. Xantha, give me a D10 roll.
Okay. Eight.
8. Well, you see this weapon here, and he shows you this. He pulls out this ornate antique mace that has a head shaped to resemble a wyvern. This here is quite valuable, although not magical. But in the right hands, perhaps, under the right conditions, could have magical effects that could be quite interesting. It is quite expensive, though. I don't know why I showed it to you. It's probably too expensive for young travelers. Well, most of you being young travelers. He looks over at you, Des.
How much is it?
Well, I couldn't part with it for less than 200 gold.
You won't have to. All right. And now
All right. I thought he might be interested, but I guess he's not.
Do we have 200 gold on us?
No, we don't. And I'll make a show of like kind of finding one, and I'll take one piece of gold and I'll put it on the thing, and I'm like, this is for the time we've taken, and also for a little bit more information, where would be the best place for us to stop and get a place to stay?
Oh, well, probably want to check out the Waterside Hostel. That would be probably one of the better places, Waterside, or else perhaps the Boatman's Tavern and Market, but that is a swarthy, scurvy place that, well, might get you in over your head.
Which one is
Are they,
less
you say?
murders every night?
The water
Do they play
side.
cards there?
Yes, they do. There is card games.
And
Quite a
that's
bit
the
of-
big building over there by the bridge?
The 2-story building by the bridge, yes.
Thank you very much, sir. If ever we find ourselves in need of more curios, we'll be sure to stop by and see you. Go, gang.
Very well.
Druid. He
What was
seems to
that?
know people.
We're
I'm
just
kind of-
curious. Would you happen to know of a man named half elf named Chiral?
I can't say that rings a bell.
He might live outside of town, maybe.
What's this individual's business? Merchant or
Oh, he's like
sailor or
Well, no, he's just. I'm not sure what his employment is. But he's a friend of a friend, and we said we would stop by and say hello.
more of a spiritual type, old gods, old religion.
well, there is much worship of the old faith in these parts. I do not know this individual. I'm sorry I can't help you more.
All right. Thank you for your time. We'll be around.
As the 5 of you begin to walk out, he gestures to you, Xanthi, and he says, I do have this one thing that I think might suit you well. And he pulls out this small, little, ratty looking, almost like a dreadlock, like wrapped hair that's sort of like
Oh,
stuck together in a like a mat. He says, "This has been called the rat tail knot," and you can see as he shows it to you, it's tied in a knot. He says, "If you keep this in your pack, it will keep the rats out." And he says, "Take it. Go ahead."
oh. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
And come back any time that you'd like to browse more of the curious wares of my shop. You are quite kind. Good luck.
Thank you.
Xanthi's just
What's that? All right.
Not to put it in my pack, but I don't want to.
You're not
I'm
going to
not
use it.
Afraid of rats. Do you want it?
Yes,
Sorry.
but I would love it, but not in front of him. Wait till we get outside.
Well, no,
Yeah,
we've
this
already
Phoenix-
we went outside.
Yeah, we're outside.
Give it.
Very
Pop it in my pack.
peculiar. Yeah,
Zip it up.
strange.
He said it would keep rats out.
Rats. Wonder if that's code for something.
I think it is.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to put it in the magical bag. If it had any properties, it wouldn't work in a magical bag anyway. And if it has bad properties, I don't want it in my bag.
Dave, would I have noticed anything in that exchange specifically
mean?
regarding when he started referencing the rats? Would that ring any bells for me?
Oh. Give me an insight check.
All right. The 11.
I mean, he could be talking about rats that crawl around on the ground in the darkness looking for things to scavenge and people's ankles to bite, or he could mean something different, but you're not sure. It seemed like he was making a nice gesture.
Okay.
But you also don't get the sense that it's probably really magical. Maybe
I
it
don't
is.
get the sense it's magical.
You're not sold. Let's put it that way.
All right.
So you guys walk back out onto the street, and there's, people again milling about. There's some people that are sort of staring you down as you walk by a couple of the buildings, just sort of leaning back and smoking pipes, sort of watching you as you enter into a little bit more crowded parts of Nulb. This place is not, I wouldn't even put it to the size of a village necessarily. And you don't get the sense of any sort of, I don't know, defensive presence. Like there's no, when you're in Hamlet, you would see like the town's guard, for example, milling about. They weren't like a heavy military presence, but you could tell they were there. They made their presence known. Here, you get either a sense that it's not present at all, or perhaps it is just less well equipped and less well disciplined. Perhaps these people that are eyeing you up and down as you walk by are the town guard. Perhaps they're bandits lying in wait. Who knows? But it's definitely got a different vibe than you experienced in Hamlet.
All right. Do we go try to get a room or two, or do we try to go to the tavern?
Well, let's head to that waterside tavern thing and let's secure
It was like
some.
a separate like bunkhouse or something, right, Dave? You said?
Yeah, there's a hostel.
A hostel, yeah.
Yep, and that's the building that's just indicated with the number 1. Let me bring back the map here as you guys are making your way deeper into town. Over by the bridge, there is the waterside hostel right here.
Oh, that's the hostel. Okay.
Yep, and there's a tavern there, as the guy told you. As you get to sort of where this marker is on the map, you also begin to smell delicious baked goods coming from the left side of the street as you pass a bakery.
Smells wonderful.
Does. Reminds me of how long it's been since I ate something that's not hardtack.
Or
Well, there
had a
was the
bath.
pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon is pretty good.
You guys think Toblob came in here too? Is he still following us?
Do we see any goblins around?
You look around, you don't. You see only humans so far.
He said that, the goblins came by sometimes. So
We
I
said they
wouldn't
weren't
be
very
surprised
welcome.
if we saw a goblin here.
Go and get some rooms. I could. I'm not gonna say that. I could, give my left arm for a bath.
Yeah, let's go to this hostel.
Would definitely like something to drink. I licked several lampshades in that last place, and I have a terrible taste on the back of my tongue.
That
Let's
might
go.
not have been the best place to lick lampshades, but all right.
Well, if they were old
Should be
things, I
fine.
thought they might jog a memory. I don't know. I tried. I'm
If
trying.
we do see, oh, sorry.
No,
He
I'm
didn't
done.
like my hand. He didn't like it.
Damn it!
I should probably just get rid of it. Is it worth keeping?
I mean, if a curio shop doesn't want it, I don't know
Right.
that you're gonna find anywhere that does want it. It didn't
Plus, if it's
seem
the
to...
hand of Vecna, you're fucked. And knowing you, it's probably the hand of Vecna.
Probably the hand of. If it was magic, I think I'd feel it by now. Right?
Just don't make any wishes while holding that desiccated hand. I just have a feeling.
I think I'll just save it, and I think the right moment will probably present itself.
Oh no, I just randomly rolled, and I rolled a natural 20, so I wasted it.
Get that out of your system.
Yeah. If we do see like some sort of general shop or something like that, I'd like to stop for a few supplies. But otherwise, thinking we head to the hostel.
Okay. Yeah, as you continue into town, you don't see any general stores or equipment type shops. The closest thing that you've seen is the curio shop. A lot of these buildings are ramshackle homes that are sort of falling over. Some of them are well kept, but the construction is pretty poor compared to what you've seen. You watch as a young street urchin with sort of like wild, unkempt hair and ragged clothes peeks out from behind one of the buildings and then looks around, looks at you, and then darts off and disappears into, behind the house. You continue on.
Do you think that kid just ratted us out to a bunch of bad guys?
Gonna find out soon enough.
Did we disguise ourselves? Did you guys disguise yourselves at all?
They said it wasn't worth the time.
I have a mustache.
Where I come from, that we definitely got scoped, and someone definitely knows we're here.
Your mustache
And-
is slowly becoming a soul patch.
But it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just like they keep an eye on who comes and goes, kind of thing. But we got clocked for sure.
Let's
Yeah.
not make waves and let's not drop 200 gold on random
best.
items in shops.
It's best to just act like we're travelers.
As you walk by one of the buildings on your right-hand side, as you're walking towards the river, you can now see the bridge up ahead. You look out over as a door opens, and you see this woman walk out, and she's got an apron on, and she sort of like wipes her hands on her apron a little bit, and then she sits down in a chair and lights up a pipe and just watches you walk by, very suspicious, just sort of clocking you guys as you enter and walk past her, whatever her place is. You can kind of smell almost like a burning sort of scent coming from her chimney.
Burning like wood or something else.
Yeah, there's wood, but it's got sort of a, not floral, but like a sweetness to it.
Nori takes a deep whiff, working all the senses, you know.
It smells kind of almost perfumey. You guys continue on. You make your way finally to the river, and you get to this two-story building. It looks to be one of the more established and larger buildings in town for sure. It's pretty substantial. Foundation of fieldstone, walls of sawn timber. And you can hear voices inside shouting and laughing and shouting and more shouting. You see a couple of people walk out of the door, kind of past you, grumbling to each other and pushing each other. They appear to be visibly intoxicated as they kind of stumble past you. One of them just kind of looks over at you, Desmond.
I'll kind of mirror what he's doing.
And they just kind of walk past.
All right.
We're going in
This is the
there.
place.
Yeah.
Do you know that guy?
No, I didn't know him, but I know how to handle them.
Where?
We'll go in, ask for a room, check it out. I'm sure people come in and out of here all the time. Just
Right.
act like we're on the road and we're looking for a place. Is there any music, Dave?
There is a little bit of music playing, but it's not very substantial. If it is, it's a very furtive sort of lute playing that's coming from inside.
Just stay alert.
The little light loot.
Yep.
I don't believe anything anybody says to you. All right, let's go in. Yeah. Des will go into the tavern.
No. Do we have like a safe word if we need to get out of there, like in a hurry? I'm a little nervous.
I think it would be run.
That's a pretty good
and
one.
you would shout it loudly.
Yeah, just shout out. We'll find you. Stay close. Don't wander off. It's the big one.
How does my mustache look? Good.
Yeah.
To be honest,
He's sweating
it's not.
bullets now. He's just sweating.
And
To
put
be honest,
your
Bug,
spell
it's not
book
fooling
in your
anybody.
pants so that that no one can steal it.
I'll turn to Xanthi.
That's not too
Maybe
obvious,
just-
is it?
Will you just clean that thing off? Just don't.
It'll be fine.
Is it drawing more attention than? All right. Okay.
I mean, Des.
And she just points at herself.
Is
feel
Xanthi
like I
wearing her
don't-
goggles?
Don't feel like I blend in really well here. Her bright yellow eyes and like her big shiny like,
Don't worry. I don't think anybody blends in here.
Okay.
There's a lot of coming and going around here. So
Okay.
just act like we're passing through. Where are we going, first of all?
Oh,
Go in and grab
there.
a table.
Right.
Maybe you should lead the way, Des.
All right, I will. We'll go in and find a table.
Okay. Good luck.
Just stay close, Buggy.
You turn and say that to him as you push through the swinging doors and you enter into the place, and there's some music playing and people banding about. There's laughing and arguing and people like pushing each other and mugs of ale being spilled, and it's pretty for like early evening. It seems to have already gotten off to a really good start. You look around and it's certainly lives up to its name as kind of this scurvy place of swarthy patrons, and you don't see Brock, but you see a lot of that type in here, a lot of sort of folks that you might make some assumptions about coming off the river. There's one man working behind the bar, and there appear to be two servers, two women that are working around the room, and they seem to be very friendly with the guests. And it seems as though the place is moving a lot of booze, Des. You can tell that right when you walk in. Like they're going back and forth to the bar, slinging big flagons of ale. There's some food that's being brought out to people, and you just kind of look around, and a bunch of people, Des, as you walk in, and the rest of your group kind of comes up behind you, and you guys all kind of stop and look around. A bunch of heads turn and look right at you, and it's like this awkward moment of almost quiet acknowledgement, and then they all just go back to what they're doing.
Well, at least nobody dropped their drink.
Right. All right. Looks good. Let's find a table. And Des will just start strolling.
All right, yeah, you see a group of people get up from one of the tables as you're approaching. They kind of eye you guys up and down. One of them belches in your face, Des, and then just kind of like walks away.
Get a load of that guy, right? Oh, look, see, a table opened right up for us.
You all grab a table. You all grab a stool and pull it up to this. It's kind of like a high top table, and there's plenty of stools. You pull them up. It's a small table though, and one of the servers comes over and she's like, let me clear this off for you. Look out a minute. And she comes in and grabs the mugs off the table and grabs them all. She says, you know what you'll be having then? Speak up. I can't hear you too well.
Do you have a menu?
A menu.
Food. Hot food. 5 rounds of ale.
You want the bitters? Red
the
House
good stuff?
ale. You want the bitter ale? You want the high quality ale?
High quality.
All right, it's gonna be for the lot of you.
What
Everyone.
is? Yeah,
Yes.
for all 5 of us.
All right, and then you want some sort of food. You want some porridge with honey. You
What
want
is the hot food you have?
We got meat stew.
What kind of meat?
It's meat stew.
You know what? That'll work for me. You guys?
Yeah.
You want the hard bread?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, meat
Sure.
stew and hard bread, and some high quality ales for the lot of you. All right.
Sounds good.
Hang
You've been on
tight.
the road.
Yeah, I can see. I got me eyes. My ears ain't so good though. What's that?
Nothing. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Maybe we found where the rest of that goblin that goes with the hand went.
For
What's
nuts
that?
and omelette
What's that?
anywhere.
She turns
I
around.
said, too bad you don't have an omelet.
Oh, we loved the omelets and homlets.
Oh, y'all from Hamlet then.
We passed through.
Mm-hmm. We had some crazy stuff going on down there in Hamlet. You all
Yeah,
wrapped
that's-
up in all of that business down
No,
Yeah,
there.
that
it's all
place
good.
is a shithole.
We're just passing through travelers. We came through Hamlet and now we're here.
Mhm. What's
we're
with
gonna-
him and the smudge on his lip?
That's his
Ah,
mustache.
I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go get your ales and your food.
All right.
Meat stew and hard bread coming right up.
All right. Bit of tough love. Spuggy, I don't think your mustache is fooling anybody. I think you should just wipe it off.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right.
To be honest,
Yeah.
it's drawing more attention.
Xanthi reaches over and prestidigitations his face clean.
Thank you.
And then she continues that over the table.
over the table. Yeah.
You probably have to do it twice to really get it clean.
Oh yeah. It's never been this clean.
All right.
I think now might be a good time to tell you guys my money got stolen by the goblins. I don't have any money right now.
Oh,
That's
it's all right. We
okay.
gotcha.
It'll
Whoa.
we'll pay for you and for Spuggy out of,
I mean,
the group bag.
I was trying to kick you under the table, Des, but my leg didn't reach when you wanted the high-end booze.
Ah, don't worry. It's on me.
Thank you.
It's
I
been
will
a long
I will
time.
get money. I will pay you back. This will happen.
Don't worry.
I'm just, I'm afraid that I'm, what like the shady people would call a mark.
A mark.
Oh, if you could maybe keep an eye out on me.
Oh,
You want the rat
right.
tail back? The
No.
it would
I mean, the rat tail might not be a great mark. We don't know what kind of mark it is around here.
Hopefully
Just-
it's not a tracking mark.
Never take out more than 2 pieces of gold at a time.
no problem.
All right? And pay in silver if you can.
Okay.
All right, here you go. Here's 5 of high quality ales. And what was that?
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And the stew and hard bread will be right up.
Oh, say, do you have rooms here, or
Speak up,
is there-
honey.
do you have rooms here, or is there a place where we could get rooms
Are you looking to stay here? Well,
overnight?
You're gonna have to talk to the ostler,
Ostler.
Dick. You're gonna have to talk to Dick.
All right.
What's
we
that?
will do that.
Do you think it's
Thank
the one
you.
arm there? Does he have only one arm?
No, he's got 2 arms as far as I can remember.
We saw
That's strange.
a man with one arm.
That
it's
was
on the
Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Charlie. He's pissing about again, I bet.
He was.
Yeah, he was here earlier. He was right pissed. Pissed
Seems
drunk.
to be a popular guy. All right.
I wouldn't go that far. What? What was that?
It's great. Thank you.
I'll be back in a minute with your stew and hard bread.
Oh, I thought she said hot bread. That was like, yeah.
I thought it was hot too.
What?
Oh, nothing. Just the bread sounds amazing.
We
Be
like
hot.
bread.
I
It'll be
think you
hot when we
like
put it
it.
in the stew.
I guess it's hard bread. So,
Well, if it's hard, we can just dip it in the stew.
oh, I guess. It's not exactly the way you want to advertise your bread, though, right?
Hey,
Hard
thanks for
bread.
the raid. 20 sides. Welcome in, my
Yeah.
friends. We're about to eat some meat stew and hard bread. That's where this adventure is at. We're in Nulb.
Anyways,
We made it to Nulb. Welcome in.
oh,
I think the hard bread is a selling feature to get the whole meal because if you had soft bread, it would just dissolve in the soup, right? Hard bread will maintain its structural integrity until you're ready to eat it in that soup. Hard bread.
hard bread.
Yeah,
Hard bread. Well, I guess we'll find out, right?
right.
This
Right.
hard bread is.
I think it's
Well-
gonna be great.
When there's one meal, I don't think we can be too picky.
All right, here's your meat stew and your hard bread. One for you. One. What was that?
Thank you.
You just say,
Anything else I can get you, sweethearts?
No,
Oh.
you've been wonderful.
Do you have freshly churned butter?
He wants butter, does he?
If you have any.
Well, what kind of a place
For
do you
the
think
hard
this is,
bread.
miss? Of course we've got butter. It'll cost you extra. But I've got it. I've got butter.
Big spender.
who's playing the music?
Who's playing the music?
Right. Is it like a what are their names? Is it like a group?
No, it's old Gideon.
Gideon.
Yeah. Well, Gideon and the boys. Sounds like there's an ensemble going on. I can't hear too well.
Do they have a name?
Gideon
go
and the
by-
boys.
Gideon and the boys. All right.
Catchy.
It's nice. I like
you a
it.
musician yourself, then? You got an ear
No.
for this sort of thing? What?
I
Speak
just
up.
like the music. I just like the music.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
We keep the Gideon and the boys filled with ale, and they keep us filled with the musical atmospherics.
It's a good deal.
It's not bad. We still charge them for the stew, though.
And the hard bread.
Yeah, we throw the hot bread in, but the butter's extra.
Of course. But it's been a
Sounds
long
delicious.
road, and we want the butter.
She looks over at you, Lachlan. I'll be back with your butter.
Your butter.
You better.
A little bit of butter.
She makes awkward eye contact with you.
A little too long.
What that?
Thank you.
All right. She doesn't really hurry away. She just kind of strolls away. She's not really in a hurry to do much.
You guys really like your butter.
This is going to be longer than the fucking trip here.
I find her strangely engaging. Like, I can't stop talking to her. I don't know. I better just cool it a little bit.
I
You want
mean,
to
she's
maintain a low
kind of
profile,
nice.
right?
It's just
No.
I'm forced to raise my voice when I talk to her, and it makes me feel like I'm maybe saying too much.
Yeah, but it's normal when you, grow older that you start being attracted to older people. It's just normal. This.
Mm-hmm. Old joke. That was a good old joke.
I mean,
You know,
you
I'm
don't.
not really that old, right? I mean, I should be like 40.
All right, here's your butter. That's what my dad said before he died at 42. What?
You lived
Oh,
a ripe,
God,
long
yes.
age. 42. I hope to live to be 42.
But you're a dwarf, and you already said you were like 73.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody.
So with the ales and the meat stew, the hard bread, and the butter, it's going to be a total of 28 silver.
Okay. Xanthi reaches into the bag and goes 28 silver, and she pulls out exactly 28 silver and hands it to her.
Okay. No tip. What?
Oh,
Keep the tab open.
I guess we were going to keep ordering.
Yeah.
But
I'll put this down as a down payment on your first installment then.
Actually, Xanthi will reach back in and take out a gold piece and hand it to her.
Because you're so lovely.
A gold piece for me? Well, aren't you sweet? What? What was that?
Thank you.
We think you're great.
Well, you're certainly a sweet one for an old man. The name's Pearl. If you
Nice
need
to meet you,
anything,
Pearl.
if you need any
Him
more
is dead.
butter,
He's old, but he's down to clown.
These
DTC,
you guys are
eh?
gonna get me in trouble. Yeah, I guess. God damn it.
Well. If you need anything else, just holla.
We will. Thank you so much.
What?
Thanks
You
for the
gotta speak
butter.
up. He
Thank
is
you.
Thanks for
Okay.
the
We said
butter.
thank you.
I don't know if it's the soup or the atmosphere.
It's the hard bread.
It might be the hard bread.
Do you think she's pretty?
All right.
I'm
She's a
terrified
bit
of her.
she's a bit older than me.
Yeah, but look at this butter though. That's some churning. She churns a mean butter.
Strong hands.
All right.
Mixture's very nice.
Why is that guy looking at us over there?
Which one?
That one.
Des will kind of take a look around the room and just see if anything
Give me a
raises
perception
his,
check.
suspicions. Pretty good. Perception,
Mm-hmm.
19.
All right. Most of the place is what you would expect in like a kind of a podunk town, you know, on the river. It's run down. You knew going into this when you walked into town it was rough. You know, the furniture and the bar and things are built well, but it's just not well taken care of for whatever reason inside. There are a lot of people in here. There's probably 20 people or so at various stages of intoxication, and most of them take no notice of you. What does stand out is you see that there is a scrappy, wiry guy at a table. Looks like he is entertaining a small crowd, maybe doing some card tricks or some sleight of hand type things. And then you look over at what Spug Noir was referring to, and you can see this man kind of glaring. He's got this scar across his face. He's dressed in worn out leather armor, and you immediately clock like his armaments and stuff. He's got a sword on his belt. And you look around, you can see everybody in here is armed. All the patrons anyways are armed to some extent, nothing crazy, but he just seems to be loitering, just kind of hanging out at the bar. There's a long bar that's filled with people, but he's kind of sitting on it with one arm behind him on the bar and sort of facing your table and just kind of looking at you.
Is he drinking?
What was your perception roll?
19.
Yeah, he has a mug that's within arm's reach that you kind of make an assumption is his.
All right. He's most likely connected with some group around here, and he's keeping an eye on us. Might be a little suspicious.
Yeah, he looks mean.
He's got some
Well,
arms on him.
I'm glad I'm
we
not wearing
know
that
that
mustache anymore.
Probably
There's
knows
some
how
of
to
those
use them.
bandit
What do his
guys
boots look
here.
like?
His boots? His
Yeah.
boots look dirty and worn.
Ooh, he's a worker. He's putting some time. He probably knows how to use those blades. Anyways,
Well,
I'm
what
sure
do you
this is like his spot. He probably keeps an eye on this area.
What do you think
Reports
the
back to
best
somebody.
way will be to find, like, the badgers?
Well, keep an eye out for fellas that look like those guys we met in the moat house, right? Thinking back, did those guys have anything in common? Did they have anything like common looking armor or clothing or anything besides like the little stones we would find on them that might set them apart from
No,
regular
they didn't
people?
have like a uniform or anything like that.
I mean, you could do this hand thing with the eye and the, that seemed to be right. We just, we got the order wrong before.
Oh, right. Wait, how did it go again?
I would have to consult. my
Yeah, I
notes.
was gonna say I don't know. I think Des might remember, but I don't personally know the order. That's
Lachlan
right. I mean,
might know.
Lachlan probably would remember because he
You're
got
muted.
it wrong.
Blake, you're muted if you were saying something.
You have to touch your eye first, and then you show the.
Right, but you touched one eye, and then they touched the other eye, and then you show the rock.
Then you show the rock, and I showed the rock first.
But I don't remember if it was the left eye or the right eye.
Yeah,
That's really
I guess I'll have to-
complicated.
All right, if we can't remember, we shouldn't do it.
Just try not to make eye contact with them, all right? Let him watch. That's what he does.
Incidentally, the soup is really good.
What kind of meat do you think it is?
Goblin.
Rabbit. It's rabbit.
Oh, we eat them and they eat us.
I
Are we eating each other at that point?
don't think it couldn't be goblin meat. No, they wouldn't do that.
Can I try to figure out what kind of meat is in here?
Yeah, give me a I guess it would be an investigation check.
Seven.
It's probably rabbit.
Probably a rabbit.
Might
Probably.
be goblin.
Mystery rabbit. That's
Be
what
rat.
we call it. Mystery rat.
I really can't tell what this is.
Don't ask any questions.
Tastes
Oh.
good.
Are we waiting for somebody to come to us? How does this work?
Enjoy your hot food and we'll ask for a room.
We'll have to go find the ostler and see if they have
Oh,
any
that's right.
rooms.
Yeah.
At Mr. Dick.
We have to ask Dick. Right.
We might have
Right.
to talk to Dick.
All right, how's everything tasting then?
Pretty good.
What's
I have
that?
a question. Pretty good. I have a question for you.
Okay. I'll do
Is
my
there
best.
a place where people who know the Force really well would hang out, or like people who might worship the spirits of nature, things of that nature around here?
Like a druid,
Yeah, kind of. Anything like that kicking around?
not that I'm aware of. We don't even have a temple or nothing, no churches. Not here in town anyways.
A godless place.
Yeah, they're still here, I like to think. The good ones and perhaps the not so good ones.
Mm-hmm. So no druids, eh? All right.
Oh yeah. Do you have any clerics that are
Clerics,
High
you
level?
say?
yeah, like somebody who could heal a curse, no reason?
No, I'm aware of, dear. There hasn't been a church in Nulb for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where would we find this Hostler character?
Dick?
Dick, yeah. Where would we find Dick?
You want me to get you some dick? Yeah, you want me to?
Where do we find Dick?
You want me to
in
fetch
Nulb?
dick for you?
We don't want we don't want just any Dick. We want very specific Dick.
The hostler.
The double entendre in
Dick.
D&D is so strong.
Wait till you,
It's
wait
just-
till you
it
hear his last
happens.
name. No, wait till you hear his last name. You want me to get the hostler, Dick? Dick Wrench.
Yes. Of course. Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes, I want Mr. Wrench. Wrench? Is that what she said?
Yes, he wants to talk.
Dick Wrench is his
Dick.
name.
Yes.
I want to hear you say it. Pearl, I'd like you to get me.
Pearl, please, would you please get Mr. Dick Wrench
Close
so
enough.
that we could speak to him?
Close enough. Close enough. How's the stew?
I think she does this. I think it's a joke.
What?
Good.
It's great. It's great. It's
the
fabulous.
best stew we've had in a week.
Well, that's something then, ain't it? All right, I'm off to find Dick for you.
That'd be great.
Wonderful.
Why she has to throw
Thank
some
you
in there?
For your help
That was a mistake.
in finding Dick.
She knows what she's saying.
Incidentally, Dick's not easy to find around here. Trust me, I know.
I'd be surprised because there's so many people around.
Well, not all of them are named Dick, honey. All right,
True.
then. I'll be off. You need another draft of ale?
Yes.
A little bit louder.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
It's like a 3-drink minimum, I think.
Keep on coming.
All right,
The
then.
Dick?
All right.
No.
No, the
No.
ale, silly.
Oh, it's getting worse.
Just one Dick.
Just the.
The Ostler. Just say Ostler. It's much easier.
Just the Ostler and more beer, please. Thank you.
All right, then. Very well. She kind of saunters off. You see her
Some
talking to the
kind-
barkeep.
Some kind of magic that woman is wielding. Right out of the comfort zone. Into the fire.
I think we
You
broke
hear-
Bleak.
You hear her shout to the barkeep. Yeah, the table over there is looking for Dick. I ain't seen Dick.
Of course we are.
She brings over some more ales. We're trying to track down Dick for you.
Great, because we ain't seen Dick.
It's been a while. And we just. We need somewhere to stay.
Oh my god. Oh. And this, my friends, is where we're gonna have to stop tonight's game because I think we kind of broke ourselves a little bit. I swear to God, the guy's name is Dick Wrench. Okay,
Did we run out of Dick jokes?
I did not make that up.
Oh my god.
Hey everybody! Thank you so
some
much
bizarre
for
new.
putting up with our bullshit. We are so thrilled to have friends in the chat hanging out with us, giggling and along with us. That was funny, and that's honest to God. The guy's name is Dick Wrench.
Just
I'm a big fan of Pearl too. She's pretty funny.
yeah, Pearl is a winner.
Yeah. Hey, I got something to say. In addition to thanking our awesome chat buddies, I want to thank this awesome table of players for always being up for getting goofy, being serious when it's time to get serious, getting silly when it's time to get silly, and everything in between. So thank you guys for leaning into the shenanigans that I throw at you. That was a lot of fun tonight. I also want to point out that we have a giveaway, you guys, a pretty substantial giveaway from our friends at CZ RPG Publishing. We are going to be drawing on the 25th of this month. We're going to be drawing a winner for a signed hard copy of their latest Kickstarter, which is the Amazing Encounters and Places. I just posted the details in the chat. I need you to follow this channel if you're not already. Type !drawing to get into the list that I'm compiling, and then go over to their Kickstarter link, which I just posted in the chat, and follow for notifications on when they go live. That's all you have to do. You don't have to back the Kickstarter if you decide you don't want to, and you will be entered to win regardless. For this really cool book. I've used some of the adventures in some of the games that I've been running recently. Very, very good stuff. And CZRPG is always super awesome to work with. If you don't know them, please get to know them. Let's go around the table really quick. I'm going to find a raid target while we're doing the outros, but I'd like to start with Ashley. Ashley, reacquaint us with who you are, where we can find you, and anything else that you want to plug along the way.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley, Minnesota Muse 99 on Twitter. And you can only find me here and on our Facebook page and on our Discord. So yeah, join our Facebook or our Discord. Say hi. We discuss a lot of D&D and other RPG games. So it's a good time.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I love the visual of Xanthi walking into this like just wretched hive of scum and villainy, and she's just like kind of like, this is cool, and you've got these goggles on, and just just a new experience, which I think is super fun. She's such a cool character. Let's jump over to Bleak Season. Hello. You all right?
Hey, sorry for breaking down like that.
Yeah, we
Must
lost
be
her for a
growing
minute.
soft in my old age.
Better than growing
that
hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
She had a way of sneaking up on you.
Yeah. Yep, sure does.
Real.
She goes the extra
Pearl.
length.
Oh boy.
Mine's the Bleak Season. I'm not usually crying my ass off on these things, but you can find me online at the Bleak Season on Twitter. bleakseason.com, my website where we talk about my games, and tomorrow right here doing part 5 of The Wreckage of Stars, the part 5 of the the finale of
There we go.
the current Shadesong game, and then one shot on Thursday of Shadesong also, and that's all the news. That's fit the Friday I'm doing La Notte Eterna on the La Notte Eterna Twitch channel, which is a brand new setting for D&D that comes direct from Italy, and we're reprising some characters that we did a few weeks ago or about a month ago on Friday, so it should be a lot of fun. So that's La Notte Eterna.
Can we find out more information by following you on Twitter, perhaps?
Yeah, my Twitter, I have all that stuff. We're retweeting all that, and so
awesome.
You can find it there. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, thank you, Bleak, and let's jump over to Shelley.
Hey, my face is just recovering. I think it's gonna be sore tomorrow from the laughter.
From all the dick.
From all the dick.
Wow.
I don't even know.
Somebody mute us.
Just it keeps on giving.
Mm,
I cannot come up with a single one.
that's all right. That's
There's
okay.
always
Trust me.
next game.
Trust me, it's okay.
Yeah, it's good. I think we did them all.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
We
It
did
evens out.
We did dicks all across the world justice tonight.
Indeed. I'm
Yeah.
glad we're bringing that back up on.
Shelley, where can we
my
find you,
thing.
and what the hell's going on?
You can find me on Twitter at Real Flea Monkey, and I'm Flea Monkey on the chats. I'll be here next week. I will
Sweet.
be doing the vault starting next Thursday. Shadesong.
Oh damn! Double trouble.
That's right.
That's awesome. So
Very
glad
good.
to have you, Shelley. Like I said, you're a great addition to this crew. I'll probably keep saying that for a long time because I'm so excited to have you in this game. And let's
I'm
jump
excited to
over
be here.
to Ende G3D.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy, also known as Andy G3D, here on Twitch and on our Discord server. You can find me here every Tuesday night playing old Desmond Adelar, getting into trouble
Yep,
and
mostly.
various adventures, not to mention Nulb, which sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
New town.
New town to explore in all of its
Man.
wretched villainy.
Yep. I'm also helping out with the Shadesong games behind camera, so you won't see me, but I'll be there
See
pushing
me.
the buttons. But yeah, come and hang out with us on Discord. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. You guys all know me. I'm Dave. I play games, produce game, run games here on Guild Superior. And the biggest thrill for me is bringing people together to play games. And we've done a lot of that over the last few months and years. And I'm excited to continue doing it. You guys are awesome. We're going to raid into our friends at Hero Club. Before we do, I want to give a couple of quick last shout outs. I want to shout out Anna B. Meyer for the awesome Greyhawk maps that inspire us for our gameplay. I want to shout out Trixie Wizard for the awesome Heroes of Greyhawk logo up above. You're going to see some great artwork coming from Jose Ortiz, who's done some custom artwork for us. And if you're interested in learning more about Greyhawk, go check out the Greycast podcast by our good old pal, Wiley Hobbit. And until next time, which is literally tomorrow, because we've got a Shadesong finale tomorrow night here, 7 p.m. Central. We'll see you then, everybody. Let's go give the Hero Club some good old-fashioned Guild Superior love. Thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye.